The State C baseball tournament in Milroy, we have a fun one between Avon and Union Hill. Who moves on to the round of 32, we'll tell you with live action right here on PubSpotlight.tv coming up on State C tournament action from Milroy, Minnesota. The 2020 Class C Minnesota Amateur Baseball Tournament is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association and presented to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 is the hub for all things sports with the Xfinity Sports Zone. And Wings Financial. We're for people like you. And we are getting the introductions of the two teams right now. Avon, the Lakers in green, but the green jerseys, gold lettering, and the white tops. And the Union Hill Bulldogs in their black jerseys with the white lettering and the white tops. We're going to listen to the national anthem right now as we are here at Milroy, Minnesota. Old Glory flying out in left field here at the Milroy Yankees ballpark. Not much breeze blowing right now as we are ready for the first of 4 games, a marathon day of State Amateur Class C baseball. Andy Price along with Greg Wolfert. We've done our stretching. We've had ourselves our enough water to make sure that our fluids are in check on this, what will be a warm Saturday full of baseball. 4 games in total. We're expecting temperatures to get up into high 80s and a little humidity as well. Avon will be the home team in this first game, the Avon Lakers. Avon located just up I-94 past St. Cloud. You're going to see hear a lot of players on the Avon team from the area of St. Cloud and Albany, a lot of Albany high school graduates playing for this team. And the Union Hill Bulldogs are located down by New Prague, got a great baseball area down in that part of the country, and we're going to see teams like St. Patrick. We'll have them here tomorrow. Another little small community with a baseball field and a church, and very well followed and a dedicated ball club and a dedicated fan base and players for these teams. So Union Hill, the Bulldogs, their beautiful ballpark along Highway 19 outside of New Prague. They are the visiting team today. We're going to go through the lineup right now. First for the Union Hill Bulldogs, batting first will be Joe Becker. A lot of Beckers between these two teams. He is playing first base. Nathan Berg at shortstop. He's number 7. He'll bat second. Conrad Mossberg is pitching and DHing. He'll bat third. Nate Lee is the catcher, and he will bat cleanup wearing number 11. Adam Geeson is in center field. He'll bat fifth. Jack Becker, who is Joe's brother, will be playing third base and batting sixth. Danny Beckius is in right field batting seventh. Jacob Becker is at second base. He's a cousin to the other two Beckers, and he'll be playing second base, as I said, batting eighth. And Derek Mossberg, it's Mossberg, and he in left field and batting ninth. So we're going to start things off with Joe Becker right here. The first pitch, and throwing for the Avon Lakers is Matt Pickleman. And Pickleman, the right-hander wearing number 23, comes in with a fastball on our first pitch of this first game between Avon and Union Hill is a strike. Pickleman with another fastball on the inside part of the plate, and he gets quickly ahead 0-2 to Joe Becker. Team is managed by John Mossberg. He's got his sons on the team, and the 0-2 pitch to Becker is fouled away, and the count remains 0-2. A few of these players with college experience, and we'll outline those as we go along. Breaking ball on the 0-2 pitch from Pickleman, and it is fouled away. So Becker, number 33, is hanging tough in the first at bat of this game this morning. We had an exciting one last night. A rally from 3 runs down as the Randall Cubs came back to beat Hadley, and a ground ball on the 0-2 pitch too short. And the nice play by the shortstop, Caleb Curry, but unable to get the out, and Becker is on board with an infield single. We'll set the infield for the Avon Lakers as we say Pickleman is on the mound. Catching is Carter Holthouse. Cole Fucher is at first base. Playing second base is Riley Voigt. He is the son of the manager of this team. At shortstop is Caleb Curry. We'll be talking about Caleb Curry quite a bit today, I believe. And at third base is Matt Meyer. Now batting for the Union Hill Bulldogs is Nathan Byrd. He's the shortstop. And the first pitch is in for a strike. The outfield for Avon, in left field, is Bjorn Hansen. And the attempt on the bunt squared away and unable to get it down, so the count goes to 0-2 on Nathan Byrd. So the outfield again, left field for Avon is Bjorn Hansen. Taylor Holthouse is in center field, and the right fielder will be Will Kleinschmidt. Throw over to first, and they almost get Becker on the pickoff play. So nice move over to first base from Pickleman. O2 pitch on the way is up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. The batter is Nathan Byrd. Breaking ball, and it's going to catch the elbow. So base hit and a hit by pitch. Breaking ball didn't break in, and Byrd didn't make a great effort to get out of the way.
Now batting, the designated hitter pitcher number 19, Conrad Mossberg.
Conrad Mossberg, the pitcher and DH, so that would allow him to stay in the game if he is pulled as the pitcher, and that is why you see that. So he was getting an early chance to get some runs on the board. Nobody out, 2 runners on, and the first pitch from Pickleman is a strike as he starts out ahead again in the count again for the 3rd straight batter. Mossberg left-handed hitting. A little bit of an open stance in the batter's box, and Pickleman delivers off speed, and it's line drive right to Curry. Curry is going to get the double play. So Strand getting a little bit off the base was Becker, and he is thrown out trying to slide back in. So a double play on the soft liner. Nice play by Caleb Curry, as I mentioned. I have just a feeling we're going to be talking about him quite a bit in this game. He has a guy who played a little professional baseball, good college career, and right away he comes up with a big play on the 6-4 double play, and there's 2 outs. Nate Lee is the catcher for Union Hill, and he is batting 4th, and he comes in now with just a runner at first base. So no doubt a momentum killer on the line drive double play, and Lee swings and misses at the first pitch off the arm of Matt Pickelman. Runner at first and 2 outs now. Count 0-1. And the home plate umpire today calls time, and he is Dan Atkins. In the field, we'll have Russ Lundquist. So Atkins and Lundquist are our umpires for both the first and second game, and now almost a pickoff again. So for the second time in just this half inning, Pickelman with a quick move to first, almost getting a runner. First time it was Becker, now it's Byrd, who is still at first base. 2 down, count 0-1 in the top half of the first inning. Game 1 of 4 here at Milroy's Ballpark, home of the Yankees, and a swing and a miss. Foul tip, actually, and the count goes to 0-2 on Nate Lee. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The pitch on the way from Pickelman, and it's lined up the middle. Curry's going to be there, and he's going to field it, scoop it, and flip it for the 3rd out. So Curry, in part, being part of 3 outs, and the 6-4 on the fielder's choice will end the inning. There was 1 hit in the inning, no runs scored. No runners left on base. So we are going to go to the bottom of the first. We're going to step aside here. You're watching PrepSpotlight.tv's coverage of the Class C tournament in Milroy right here on PrepSpotlight.tv. All right, we are back here, ready for the bottom half of the first inning. And coming to the plate, the Avon Lakers. And they will be sending to the plate Matt Meyer, who is at third base. He's leading off. Bjorn Hansen in left field will bat second. Caleb Curry, the shortstop, will bat third. Taylor Holhouse in center field is going to be the cleanup hitter. Riley Voigt is the second baseman and bat fifth. Cole Fucher at first base batting sixth. Josh Becker, the DH, batting seventh. Will Kleinschmidt, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Carter Holthouse is the catcher, batting ninth. So that's the way their order goes, and we'll get to the defensive lineup for Union Hill as we have Mossberg on the mound. And he starts off the first two pitches with 2 balls. So Conrad Mossberg is going to start the game on the hill, and the 2-0 pitch is going to catch the corner for a strike. He gets one over, and it's 2-1 to the right-handed hitting Matt Meyer, who plays third base for Avon. 2-1 pitch is lined out to right field, and that's going to be a base hit. Fielding it is Beckius for Union Hill, and a leadoff single for Matt Meyer. Matt from Sartell. Bjorn Hansen now, Sauk Rapids native, and he's going to hit left-handed. He's left-handed. Hansen is currently playing college ball at Augustana. He is new to the squad this year, and the first pitch is in for a strike by Mossberg. Avon is the home team, so as you take a look at your score bug, it is backwards again. We don't have home and road notated at the moment in time when we built this in, so that is why it is. But Avon will be the home team. and Union Hill is the visiting team. Getting their first cracks, and Avon will be last at-bats. Count 1 ball, 1 strike to Bjorn Hansen. With a runner at first, Avon trying to threaten. Union Hill had 2 runners on to start their first inning, unable to push across a run, thanks in part to the double play on the line drive to shortstop and the flip over to the second baseman to get the runner who had wandered a little bit too far off the bag. Foul ball makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hansen. We're in the bottom of the first inning here in Milroy, Class C first round. 48 teams started this tournament. 2 were eliminated last night. Hanska and Hadley were eliminated last night in very exciting games. Come from behind wins by Randall here in Milroy against Hadley, and Foley coming back to beat Hanska over in Springfield. Line drive into left field, and a good piece of hitting by Hansen as he reaches out and hits it where it was pitched and takes it to the opposite field for the single. And back-to-back base hits off of Mossberg. That's going to bring up Caleb Curry. Curry batting third.
Number 22, Caleb Curry.
He hit 3 home runs in the region tournament that just ended, where they advanced on from here. Curry getting an opportunity to play a little professional baseball, drafted and spent some time with the Giants. And he has been a part of this ball club and some of their successes throughout the years. They made the state tournament last year. They made it into the second round. They beat Lake Henry in the first game and lost in the second game to Red Wing. Fly ball to right field, hit pretty deep and deep enough to advance the runner. So Curry records the first out of the inning on a fly ball, but it's going to advance the runner. Matt Meyer is over to third base now, so runners at the corners with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the first inning, good scoring opportunity for the Avon Lakers against Conrad Mossberg. Taylor Holdhouse, the center fielder, is batting in the cleanup spot, wearing number 16 for Avon. And the right-handed hitter gets ready in the box and sees the first pitch over for a strike from Mossberg. So on the defensive side for the Union Hill Bulldogs, Nate Lee is catching, swing and a miss, and the count goes to 0-2. At first base, we have an all Becker right side of the infield. Jacob Becker at second base, Joe Becker at first base. Jacob at second, Joe at first. We have Barry at shortstop. We have Jack Becker playing third base. Jack is a cousin. Swing and a miss, and there's 2 outs now. So a nice strikeout from Mossberg, and Holdhouse goes down for the second out. Runners still at first and third, and that's going to bring up Riley Boyd.
Second baseman number 9, Riley Boyd.
Riley Voigt, the brother of manager Reed Voigt, and Riley is known as Furch. He keeps everybody loose. He says his brother Reed said, or his brother Reed said he's just a great influence in the clubhouse and in the dugout as they keeps everybody loose. Off and running goes Hansen, and Hansen heads to second, and that was not contested. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Riley Voigt. Runners at second and third with 2 outs here in this first inning of Class C state tournament action. And Mossberg delivers outside, and the count goes to 1-2. This is with the curveball. Mossberg trying to pitch his way out of this. 2 base hits to start the inning. Line drives to right field and left field by Meyer and Hansen respectively. Hansen has now moved over to second base on the steal, and a swing and the miss on a big curveball by Mossberg. Riley Voigt goes down swinging, so 2 strikeouts for Mossberg. Ends the threat. No runs are going to be scored. 2 hits and 2 runners left on base. We're going to step aside. You're watching PrepSpotlight.tv coverage of the State C baseball tournament from Milroy. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back.
What's special about high school sports? The passion. The excitement. the memories.
Now a three at the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community. Connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
There's a look at the flag in left field here in Milroy. Not much activity, not much wind as we speak at this morning. Beautiful morning for baseball. Completely blue skies. Not a cloud in the sky that we can view from this vantage point here in the grandstand. We go to the second inning, and leading off for Avon, or for Union Hill in the second inning, is going to be the number 4 hitter. Or for number 5 hitter, excuse me, and that's Adam Geeson. Adam Geeson, the center fielder, swings and misses. It's 0-2 in his first at-bat, and the 0-2 pitch from Matt Pickelman is low. So Pickelman worked himself out of a little jam with a double play in the first inning, and curveball is lifted into foul territory. Everybody scrambles into the Union Hill dugout as the third baseman Meyer chases it, but it is out of play. So the count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to Adam Geeson. Geeson looks at the curveball and hits it hard, waiting on it. Stayed up into the zone and right about the letters is across the plate, and Geeson had a pretty good cut at it, but he's a little early on it, and he rips it foul again. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the top half of the second inning. Another foul back, and on the subject of Geesons, in a few innings we'll be hearing from another Geeson, is Noreen Geeson, who's been a longtime scorekeeper for Union Hill, is going to join us and talk a little town ball and the art of scoring at the town ball level. She'll join us in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pitches outside, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. You're watching PrepSpotlight.tv's coverage. We are all over the state today. We started at 10 a.m. 2-2 pitch looks like it was strike 3, but it misses inside. No doubt Pickelman thought it was a strike, but pitchers always do. But that pitch did look a little inside from here, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the full count pitch is ripped to left field for a base hit. So Geeson works the count full, battles, and gets the base hit. Is paid off. Second hit of the game for the Union Hill Bulldogs. Union Hill's last trip to the state tournament was 2017, so 3 years ago. They return again now this year. They were pretty constant in the Class C tournament, 2000, 2002, 06, 07, 12, 13, and 2017. They were runners-up 14 years ago in 2006. Batting is Jack Becker, and he hits it to deep right center field, and the center fielder, Holthouse, is unable to make the play. So Holthouse and Kleinschmidt maybe struggled a little bit with that first ball hit out there this morning, and it's going to end up being a double. And Jack Becker ends up with a double in between the right fielder and the center fielder, and with nobody out, a real threat with runners both in scoring position. And that's going to bring up Danny Beckius, the right fielder. Runners at second and third, as Jack Becker at second with the double, and at third is Geeson. First pitch in for a strike, and so both pitchers have put themselves or have worked out of jams in the first inning, and another jam here at the top of the second inning. Pickelman, the right-hander for Avon, with a strike on the first pitch to Beckius. And the 0-1 pitch is a good breaking ball that gets down and away from the swinging bat of Beckius, and the count goes to 0-2. Union Hill trying to mark the scoreboard first here in the top of the second inning. The infield is playing at normal depth, so I think a ground ball to the middle will score the run. The third baseman is pinched in a little bit, and the swing and the miss and a strikeout. Good place to get the strikeout.
Now batting second baseman, number 46.
And that's going to bring up the number 8 hitter in the order, Jacob Becker. He's a cousin to Jack and Joe. He's playing second base, wearing number 46. Another right-handed hitter. Again, the corner infielders, third base especially, playing inside the line. The first baseman now backs up a couple steps. The middle infielders playing back, conceding a run on a ground ball, but there is not a ground ball. That is a bullet to the left field, and that's going to one-hop the fence, and that will score both. So a big swing by Jacob Becker, and he slides into second with the double. 2 runs score, and it's 2-0 Union Hill on the 2 RBI double by Jacob Becker. So one of the 3 Beckers in the lineup comes through and scores 2 runs, the 3rd hit of the inning. This is going to bring up Derek Mossberg, who's in left field. He's in the number 9 hole. First pitch is over for a strike, a breaking ball. 2-run score for Union Hill. And here in the second inning, they get the first marks on the scoreboard with a crooked number. 1 strike, 1 out, and fouled off back towards the Union Hill dugout. And Mossberg is down in the count, so no balls and 2 strikes. Union Hill looking to make a run. The winner of this game. Line drive to first base and over the first baseman's glove as it looked like he stumbled just a little bit. And that's another double, the 3rd double of the inning. And it is 3-0 Union Hill. Slashed it right over the first baseman's head, and you can see the first baseman, and he's to come out to look at it a little bit. He maybe caught a cleat on the dirt as he was reaching for the ball, as he didn't get the full extension, and you can see that it bothered his knee a little bit. So that is Fucher out over at first base. He is going to stay in the game, but the double, the 3rd of the inning for Union Hill. The Bulldogs come out swinging here in the second. Their 4th hit of the inning, 5 hits total. Runner at second, and we go back to the top of the order with Joe Becker. And Becker gets hit. The second batter that Pickleman is hit. So Becker goes to first base. He had reached on an infield single in the first inning, and he now reaches after being plunked in the back. So runners at first and second, still just 1 out in the inning, and Union Hill is off and running in this one. Shortstop Nathan Byrd is coming to the plate. He was hit by the pitch. He was the first batter that Pickleman hit in the first inning. So the 7th batter of the inning, only 1 out, and Union Hill doing some damage. There is a pitcher warming up, and it is one of the drafted pitchers but for Avon, and he is getting ready, a lefty, and we'll get the number and the name for you as he first pitch is a ball. And the pitch is delivered. Fly ball out to right. Kleinschmidt backing up, and it's over his head. So this will be extra bases again. And that is going to just score. Oh, it's going to hit the runner out at home. So the lead runner got Mossberg held up and was being chased by the runner Becker behind him, but Mossberg is thrown out. So a tough base running error there will cost a run that should have scored. So Mossberg is out. Another double. That is the 4th double of the inning. They're peppering the outfield. 9-4-2 on the play at the plate, and that is the second out. A very fortuitous second out for Avon as a run does not score. So 2 down here in the second inning. The 5th hit of the inning, and then Conrad Mossberg now at the plate. The 8th hitter of the inning, and he grounds towards first, but it's wide of the bag and foul, and the count goes to 0-2. Conrad Mossberg lined into the double play his first at-bat. He lined it to shortstop. It was a soft liner. The opposing pitcher now getting a chance with 2 runners on. And he slashes it foul past the third base coaching box. So for the second straight at-bat, the second straight inning, Conrad Mossberg comes to the plate with 2 runners on. This time both are in scoring position. See what he does with the count 0-2. Pickleman has been roughed up a little bit this inning, and we'll see if he gets out of it as Mossberg fights off a curveball, fouls it off barely back to the screen towards the Avon dugout. 4 doubles in the inning. 3 runs have scored. So the base running mishap costs Union Hill a run. We'll see if Conrad Mossberg, who would benefit the most from it as the starting pitcher for Union Hill, is able to make up for that and maybe bring in a run or 2 more. He has the opportunity here, but he's down 0-2 in the count. Curveball is outside, ball 1. Pickleman took a few steps towards his own dugout in anticipation of a strike 3 call, but from this vantage point it looked like the pitch was just outside. So a ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs to Mossberg, and the fastball is hit towards second base, and Voigt has it. He scoops it up and throws out Mossberg. So 3 runs are going to score in the inning. 5 hits, 4 doubles, and 2 runners left on base. We're going to go to the bottom of the second. Union Hill on the board as the visitors scoring 3 times in the second inning. They lead Avon 3-0. We'll be right back on PrepSpotlight.tv with State Seed Amateur Baseball Tournament action. A look at the party deck here in Milroy, and it's green-clad party deck, as it looks like the Avon fans have taken over that deck right above their dugout. That deck was being built just the other day when I made a trip down here to look at the ballpark and figure out where our broadcast location was going to be, and they did a nice job of finishing it up. The town coming together and all members of the Milroy Yankees coming together to get that party deck built, and the fans are enjoying it, and they saw 3 runs scored by Union Hill, so not much enjoyment in the party deck in that top half of the second inning. But now their kids are coming to bat here in the bottom half of the second inning. We'll see what Avon does as they bring up the number 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Game started at 10 o'clock over in St. Anthony Village. Jeff Pappas on the call. And it's Class A ball between Stockman's Irish and the Lions Pub, and the Irish jumping out on a big 7-0. Middle of that game, so Stockman's Irish trying to advance onto the semifinals tomorrow. So we'll pick it up here with Cole Fucher as the leadoff hitter in the second inning, and Mossberg, the right-hander, wearing number 19 for Union Hill, delivers wide, and it's ball 1. So we start the bottom half of the second inning with Fucher, Becker, and Kleinschmidt. Fastball pops the mid of the catcher. You can hear it well here, and it's count 1-1 to Cole Fucher. Fly ball out to right field, and camping underneath is Beckius. And the catch is made. So fly ball out to the right field. The second time Beckius has tracked down a ball, and there's 1 out.
Number 10, Josh Becker.
Josh Becker. Manager Voigt said one of his most consistent hitters all year long in his COVID-affected season. And Becker, the fourth Becker in this game playing. There's 3 of them on the Union Hill starting 9. Josh is the only one for Avon, and he looks at a strike on a curveball and then a fastball up high from Mossberg, and the count is 1-1. 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Union Hill scoring 3 in the second to take the lead. Fastball misses outside, and it's 2 balls and a strike to Josh Becker. Becker's DHing for Avon in this one. Curveball over the head of Becker by Mossberg as he gets the batter to move his feet a little bit and duck. 3 balls and a strike. And the pitch is up high, and Becker is going to walk. First walk of the game delivered by Mossberg, and Becker heads over to first base. That's going to bring up the number 8 hitter, Will Kleinschmidt, who was very active out in right field. Kleinschmidt batting left-handed, wearing number 32. He played football at St. John's. This is his first state tournament appearance, as he's mainly been, at this time of the year, getting ready up in Collegeville for the college football season. So he's getting his first look at state tournament action as Kleinschmidt. No balls, 1 strike, and Kleinschmidt swings and misses at a good pitch down and away from him. A little bit of a slider, and the count is 0-2 to Kleinschmidt. 1 out, the runner at first base. He's there via the walk. Union Hill protecting a lead now, and Mossberg has a delivery to Kleinschmidt that is tap foul. No balls, 2 strikes remains the count. The first of 4 games here this morning. Morning, afternoon, early evening, and evening. 4 games in all of our locations. We're in Springfield for the other Class C game. Class B, which we haven't had a result from last night's game, and a strikeout for Kleinschmidt, 2nd out of the inning. 3rd strikeout of the game for Mossberg. It's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Carter Holthouse. He is the brother of Taylor Holthouse, who is hitting 4th and playing second base. So Carter, the note from the manager on Carter is that one of the best luxury you can have as a manager at any level of baseball is to have a solid catcher, somebody behind the plate defensively who can get the job done, and he pins that description right on number 5, Carter Holthouse. So Carter at the plate with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Mossberg delivers outside, ball 1. We have games going on in Springfield right now and in Shakopee with the Class B tournament. 4 games at each of those venues today. Bottom of the second inning, and a quick toss over from Mossberg to the first baseman, Becker. Joe Becker. Becker's all over. Ball and no strikes, and another pitch that gets away from Mossberg and right over the top of the head of Holthouse. 2 balls and no strikes here. Runner at first. 2 down in the inning. Conrad Mossberg on the hill for Union Hill, and he delivers the 2-0 pitch up high. So behind in the count again, and on the verge of a second walk this inning. On deck is Matt Meyer. He started off the game with a single for the Avon Lakers. And the 3-0 pitch is high, so some control issues for Mossberg, and there's 2 walks, 2 runners on. So Avon left 2 runners on in the bottom of the first inning. They've got 2 runners back on again here in the second inning. And we go to Matt Meyer. He's singled to right field and advanced over to third, but was unable to score. He comes up now with 2 runners on, and he sees the first pitch from Mossberg, and Mossberg delivers low again. The middle infielders checking the runner at second a little bit. Mossberg takes a look back and a fastball right at the letters for a strike. 1 ball and a strike. Meyer started the game with a base hit. He's ready in the batter's box. And pitch is up on that one. It was a breaking pitch. And it's high, 2 balls and a strike. Fastball called a strike almost at that same location. The curveball up a little high as it came across the plate. 2 balls and a strike, 2 runners on, 2 outs. And the 2-1 pitch is low, ball 3. So on deck for the Avon Lakers is Bjorn Hansen, who also singled. He delivered a single to left field in his first at-bat in the first inning. Will he come in with the bases loaded? But the Union Hill third baseman is going to stop over and make a few suggestions possibly to the pitcher, Conrad Mossberg. That's Jack Becker. He trots back to his position at third base. Runners at first and second again. Avon trying to cut into that deficit that was registered in the top half of this inning with Union Hill scoring 3 runners, and the fastball is over for a strike. So if count moves full to Meyer, and that will mean the runners are going to be going. We'll see how quick they get the jump, but with the count 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs here in this bottom of the second inning. And number 2 at the plate, so now there's my time to use it. Deuces certainly are wild. 3-2 pitch is foul back. It catches both the catcher and the umpire. That's 2 of them. Another reason why deuces are wild is the battery mate and the umpire both taking a little bit of a piece of that foul ball. Meyer playing in his 15th year with Avon. Played at St. John's University as well, just down the road in Collegeville. 2 runners on, 3-2, and the pitch is wide, and it gets past the catcher, but not far enough to get the runner to think about moving from third home. Rounding the base at third was Josh Becker. So 3 walks in the inning. 2 hits in the first inning, 3 walks here in the second inning, and all of a sudden we got ourselves a situation. Meeting at the mounds is the manager, John Mossberg. Brings in the entire infield to discuss what's going on, and Conrad needs to settle things down and try to find the plate. Walks now, 3 of them this inning, to Josh Becker, Carter Holthouse, and Matt Meyer. In that order, they are on the base paths. He did get a strikeout, and he has a flyout in this inning. 2 outs, 3 runners on. Nobody's gotten on with a base hit, and this brings up Bjorn Hansen 1 for 1 and a stolen base in his first at-bat, and Mossberg misses high and wide to the lefty. Hansen making his first appearance in a state tournament with Avon, as this is his first year. What a good spot he has to impress everybody in state tournament time. Pitch is high, and Mossberg right now is not able to find the zone, and somebody is stretching in the bullpen area for Union Hill right now. The Bulldogs facing a bases-loaded situation. 2-0 pitch is going to be outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Fastball had some pop on it, good velocity, but it was out the zone. So it's 3 balls and no strikes. 3 balls, no strikes, no place to put Bjorn Hansen. And except to put him on first base with a walk. So 4 walks in the inning. Everybody moves around the base paths and give Bjorn Hansen an RBI for walking. And Caleb Curry is coming to the plate. Bases are loaded, 4 walks in the inning. This is a little bit like we saw last night with Randall, where they had 4 walks and a hit batsman in the same inning and gave up 3 runs. Well, they've given up 1 run on 4 walks. Not a base hit to be seen right now for Avon. Caleb Curry, the number 3 hitter, very dangerous hitter, is in, and Mossberg is able to find the zone. He corrals the fastball and gets it right over the middle of the plate, just above the belt to Caleb Curry for strike 1. Swing and a miss by Curry, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Fastball. Caleb Curry flew out to right field in his first at-bat. He hit it hard, but it was a loud out. No balls, 2 strikes. He's got the bases full. Mossberg delivers outside, and that's going to get past the catcher and score the run. Sliding in head first with the run is Carter Holthaus, the opposing catcher. So he scores on the wild pitch. Everybody else moves up a spot. So now at 3-2, for the air in the scorebug, it's 3-2. Union Hill leading. 2 runners on for Avon. Swing and a ground ball past the third baseman down the line. So Curry comes up with a hit that's going to give Avon the lead, and it gets past the left fielder as well. Curry will stop at second. We'll call it a double anyway. He would have gotten there, and Curry, I believe, will call it a double. We'll see if they're giving it air. But with those 2 RBIs, Avon has taken the lead. 7 runs scored in this inning. 4 by Avon, 3 by Union Hill. And his score is 4-3. Taylor Holthaus gets his chance now to come in, give the 2 RBIs to Curry. So 2 outs and a runner on second, and Holthaus looks at the pitch from Mossberg, wide, ball 1. Holthaus, the 8th batter to come to the plate for Avon this inning. 4-3 is your score, correct on the scorebug. Pitch fouled straight back into the net. And the count moves to 1 ball, 1 strike. Holthaus, a St. John's grad as well. He was a part of the Avon 2012 state tournament team that made the nice run. Holthaus swing and a miss on the breaking ball, and the count goes to 1-2. In 2012, Avon finished in the top 8. They got to the quarterfinals. Here in 2020, playing in the first round, and they now take the lead 4-3. Fastball almost hits Holthaus and moves him back off the plate as he quickly whips his head back, and the pitch makes it 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on second. It was doubles that scored the 3 runs for Union Hill in the top of this inning. It's walks and a double that led to these runs, and called third strike from Holthaus. So Mossberg gets out of it with a strikeout, his second strikeout of the inning. It seemed like the first one was a long, long time ago. But they go on to score 4 to the Avon Lakers, and they take the lead here going into the top of the 3rd inning. It's 4-3, Avon over Union Hill. We've played 2. You're watching the State C Amateur Baseball Tournament from Milroy, Minnesota, home of the Milroy Yankees. We'll be right back on PrepSpotlight.tv. All right, we come back here to Milroy. Andy Price and Greg Wilford with you here, the 3rd inning of the first game today. We're here for 4. Marathon Day in Milroy. Hoping for a hamburger and maybe a Coors Light. Oh, I wonder if I could say that on the air. We have a couple scores we want to pass along as we have a full day of games going on here on PrepSpotlight.tv's coverage of the State Amateur Baseball Tournament, our partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association. Over in Springfield in the other Class C first-round game, Laverne leads Mora 3-0 in the third. And in the third inning up in Shakopee, Northfield leading East Grand Forks 3-1 as well. Here it's 4-3, Avon over Union Hill. All these runs scored in the second inning, so let's see what the third inning brings. And leading off for Union Hill against the pitcher Matt Pickleman will be Nate Lee. Lee made the final out of the first inning, and he took strike one, and then the second pitch is a ground ball wide of third base, so the count goes to 0-2. Lee hitting in the cleanup spot. He is the catcher. Lee, a Bethany Lutheran College player from Mankato, and he pops up towards second base, and making the play is Riley Voigt, and Nate Lee is out on the pop-up to the second baseman for the first out of the inning. And Adam Geeson comes to the plate. Geeson singled and scored in that second inning. There were doubles all abounding in that second inning for Union Hill, but his was a single that started the rally. That was a leadoff single. He comes up here with one out, and the first pitch is a strike from Pickleman. We are in the top of the third. Breaking pitch misses just wide, and the count moves to 1-1. The crowd beginning to fill in here in Milroy, and other teams start appearing that will be playing in games later on today. Foul ball wide of the bag, and count 1-2 to Geeson. A soft pop-up towards center field, and that's in a danger zone, and it's going to fall in between Holthouse and Curry and Voigt, and a space hit. So Geeson, with his second single of the game, he is 2 for 2. So a one-out single is going to bring Jack Becker to the plate, the third baseman. He picked up the RBI on the double. Runner at first, and Becker, the right-handed hitting third baseman, looks at strike one. The winner of this game moves on to take on Lamberton, the Long Sox. Lamberton making a big surge at the end of the season to win their region and get a bye, so that game will be played next week. A little breaking pitch inside, and it induces Becker to swing. He swings and misses, and the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. And the breaking pitch is fouled away. One out single from Geeson on the little blooper to center field. And the pitch is fouled away. Jack Becker looks at the curveball and deposits his second base hit of the game. And he moves Geeson over to second base on the single to left field. Danny Beckius comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in that second inning. Runners at first and second. Both starting pitchers having struggles in the first couple innings. They're getting base hits off of Pickleman from Avon. It's walks that hurt Mossberg from Union Hill. So runners at first and second and one out, and Pickleman delivers a nice breaking pitch over the plate, and it's strike one. He has nice movement on that pitch, especially to the right-handed hitters, it seems. Runners at first and second. And the 0-1 pitch is fouled away. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. They scored 3 in the second inning, and they're now threatening with 2 runners on and 1 out here in the third, trailing 4-3. The delivery from Pickleman, and just getting a piece of it, is Beckius, and he fouls it back. Runner at second base is Geeson. At first base is Jack Becker. Here's Beckius at the plate, and a foul tips it into the mitt of the catcher Holthouse, and that is the second out of the second strikeout of the game for Pickleman, both coming with Beckius, and 2 outs now in the inning. Jacob Becker, who doubled in 2 runs, hitting in the 8th spot. He had a big second inning, and he's coming back up with 2 more runners on. 2 down, 2 runners on in the top of the third. Pickleman from the set delivers a breaking ball, and it's lined up the middle, and it's going to get to the outfield. It squibs into the outfield, and that will score another run. So a third RBI for Jacob Becker, and this game is all tied up. And Jacob Becker has done a fair amount of work today in his 2 at-bats. Driving in 3 runs and moving over to second on the base hit was Jack Becker. That's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Derek Mossberg. Mossberg doubled as well. Mossberg made the mistake in the second inning after the double. He was thrown out at the plate on another double. So this game tied 4-4. And the pitch is low, so the count moves to 2-0 to Mossberg, the number 9 hitter. He plays left field. Mossberg, the brother of the pitcher, Conrad Mossberg, manager as well. Runners at first and second, 2 down, and the pitch is over for a strike. So Pickleman gets a strike to move the count to 2-1. This game all tied up, and the wind kicks up just a little bit as you take a look at the flag in left field. And the breaking ball is going to be called for strike 2. Derek Mossberg played some college ball at Winona and Bemidji State University, and he's got his chance right here. The 2-2 pitch, breaking ball hit hard right off the knee of the third baseman. It's going to kick off the fence. Nobody moves, or the runner doesn't score on it, but bases will be loaded. So we're going to, I believe that's going to be a base hit. That ball was smoked towards the third baseman, Meyer, and it caught him right on the kneecap, and it ricocheted all the way past towards the dugout of the Union Hill Bulldogs. And that will be a base hit single. And the bases are full. So a pitching change is 9 hits of the first 3 innings for Union Hill, and that's going to chase Matt Pickleman. And it appears that we're going to move the right fielder into the pitching spot, and we're going to stretch out a right fielder's arm. There's that number 15 heading into right field, and Kleinschmidt, who was playing right field, is going to come into pitch. So Will Kleinschmidt is now pitching, and we're going to stay here and get the player in right field for you. And that's Cody Stick. So Cody Stick is now in right field. Kleinschmidt So we're going to, as we keep it here, we've got the lineup in order now. So Kleinschmidt is coming from right field into pitch. He's a right-hander. And then going out to right field is Cody Stick, and that position hasn't been hit, hasn't been hitting. They have been DHing the right fielder in this game. So Kleinschmidt coming into pitch. Pickelman going 2 2/3 innings. He is out of the game. 9 hits, 4 runs. A couple strikeouts. But a lot of base runners. He hit 2, struck out 2 along the way. So we are still here in the top of the 3rd inning in Milroy. This is the second game of 8 this weekend here in Milroy. And Joe Becker comes to the plate. Becker's reached base both times. He was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Kleinschmidt delivers high and doesn't look to have his footing down right on the mound as he scrapes his cleats to see his landing spot. First pitch is high, ball 1. Bases are loaded. This game is all tied up. Kleinschmidt delivers high and the pitch bounces off of the catcher's glove holdhouse, and no throw will be made as the runner scores on the wild pitch or the pass ball. So Jack Becker scores. Becker scores for his second time in the game, and Union Hill now has bounced back up top. Everybody advances on the play, so we now have runners at second and third. Becker at third, Mossberg at second. 2 balls and no strikes to Joe Becker, and fastball does catch the plate. Two balls and a strike. 5-4 the score. And Becker takes an inside pitch and swings it hard and hits it over the cage in left field. Well out of play. Wind seems to be blowing in now out of the south here in Milroy. Has not affected the offense for Union Hill. They have 9 base hits and scored 5 times, and we're only in the top of the 3rd. Kleinschmidt, fastball fouled away. Count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two outs. Kleinschmidt delivers. Fastball was high. Would have been ball 3, but up there hacking was Joe Becker, and he fouls it straight back, and the count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Becker has reached both times. He was erased on a double play the first time up after he had reached second base, and he was hit by a pitch in the second inning. So in 3 innings, he's got 3 at-bats. Becker pops it up, and it's going to be Voigt, Riley, making the play at second base. The wind playing a little trick with him, but he's able to haul it in, and the inning is over. So another crooked number put up by the Union Hill Bulldogs as they take a 5-4 lead as we head to the 3rd inning. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first week of play in the Class A tournament last week, and we'll give you some score updates when we come back as well.
After 2.5, Union Hill 5 Avon 4. We have a special announcement, and that is the COVID-19
Andy Price.
Thanks for helping us
out. As we come back to Milroy, Minnesota, you see the water tower in the background. This is part of the Town Ball series last year that was produced by Big G Media and aired on Fox Sports North. And a new pitcher into the game for Union Hill. So Mossberg only is going to go 2 innings, and we come back with number 21 on the hill for Union Hill, and that's going to be Jack Kreutzen. So Jack Kreutzen is your new pitcher. As we get him.
Second baseman, number 9, Riley Boyd.
Kreutzen in. And so in the third inning sees pitching changes for both teams. And we are here in the bottom of the third inning now with a Union Hill lead, 5-4, as they've seesawed back in front. And Kreutzen's pitch to the Avon batter is going to be lined out to left field for the out, and the first out of the inning for Avon. And as we catch up trying to get our scorebooks correct, that left fielder making the catch is Mossberg, and the batter was Riley Voigt, the second baseman who made the final, caught the final out of the third inning. And it is 1 up and 1 down as Voigt is now 0 for 2 on the season. Now, Cole Fucher is batting. He flew out to right field in his first at-bat, and he flares the first pitch from Kreutzen, and it is strike 1. One out here in the bottom of the third inning, the score 5-4. Fastball up the middle and delivered. A base hit is Fucher, and the first baseman reaches first with the single up the middle.
Now batting designated hitter number 10, Josh Becker.
Over in the other Class C game being played at Springfield, Laverne, which was they were leading 3-0 in the third, they've added another run, and it's now 4-0. Laverne leading Mora in the game being played over in Springfield. So a runner on first base, and it is the Becker from Avon. So we've been having fun with this. 3 Beckers in the lineup for Union Hill. This is the Becker that Avon has. It's Josh, and he walked and scored in the second inning. He was the first of the walk parade that scored. The first pitch was fouled back, count 0-1. Runner at first, and a flare to right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. So Becker's on base, and heading to second base is Fucher. He made a little bit of a head juke, like he may make the move towards third, but he stops as the designated hitter, Becker, reaches on a base hit, and there's runners at first and second with 1 out against the relief pitcher, Jack Kreutzen. So trying to bounce right back with runs of their own. They've answered them in the second inning with 4 runs to take the lead back, and now trying to answer back as Union Hill took the lead in the top of the third inning. So that's going to now bring up Kleinschmidt, who's the pitcher now for the Avon Lakers. He's got 2 runners on, and he hits the ball to center field, and that ball is going to be tracked down by Geeson. And Geeson records the out, and the runner advances from second to third. So the runner advances from second to third, does Fucher, and now Carter Holthouse comes to the plate for the Avon Lakers. He was the third walk of that second inning by Conrad Mossberg, and then he also came around to score on a wild pitch in their 4-run second inning. First pitch is a breaking ball off the plate, 1-0. So 2 outs here in the bottom half of the third inning. Just saw a score flash by me as the Stockman's Irish up 11-0 on Lions Pub, and it's a final now. So the Stockman's Irish heading on to the semifinals, which will be played tomorrow in Class A. That is at St. Anthony Village. You can watch that game right here on PrepSpotlight.tv as well. So ball and a strike now to Holthouse, the catcher, and the breaking ball is up high, and it is 2 balls and a strike. Runners at first and third. The runner at third is Cole Fucher, the first baseman. At first is Josh Becker. He's DHing for Avon today. Avon trailing 5-4 here in the bottom of the third. Kreutzen with the pitch. Fastball in for a strike, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Avon trying to match Union Hill again on the scoreboard on the 3rd inning frame. Timeout called by the batter, and the umpire grants it.
Now you get him 2-1. Here we go.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch is fouled away.
Nice pitch, Jack.
Watching right here on PrepSpotlight.tv, Andy Price and Greg Wolfert from Milroy, Minnesota on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in August. And the pitch from Kreutzen is called strike 3. So no damage done for the new pitcher in the game for Union Hill. And no runs scored for the Avon Lakers, although they did collect 2 base hits. We're going to step aside for a break. You're watching PrepSpotlight.tv coverage of the State C tournament here in Milroy. We'll be back with Union Hill leading Avon 5-4.
What's special about high school sports? The passion, the excitement, the memories.
Now on 3 at the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community, connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
We're back here in Milroy. 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Kleinschmidt getting the fly ball to center field by Nathan Byrd. Byrd down 1 for 2. He had also been hit by a pitch. This is Conrad Mossberg, the starting pitcher of the game, who is now just DHing as he was the DH pitcher. And Mossberg rips a single to right field. His first base hit of the game. Games all weekend long in St. Anthony Village, Shakopee, Springfield, and Milroy, and it's all right here on PrepSpotlight.tv. Runner at first is Conrad Mossberg. Nate Lee, the catcher. He comes up. He is 0 for 2 as well. First pitch is strike from Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt came into the game with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. So relieving the starter, Matt Pickelman, who went 2 2/3 innings. No balls and 1 strike. And a fastball is fouled straight back by Lee, wearing number 11, the catcher for Union Hill. No balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first base and 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. Lots of action on the base paths, both in hits, walks, hit batters. Grounder to third. Third baseman was played short. They're going to get the double play on the 5-4-3 double play. So it was started by Meyer over to Voigt and on to Fucher. 5-4-3 as Nate Lee grounds into the double play. A quick end to the top half of the 4th inning, and the lead remains 5-4 for the Union Hill Bulldogs, and we're going to the bottom of the 4th. And we're going to keep it right here as we're going to bring on a guest here as we try to do something different every now and then. As we're going to
I didn't put that on? I'm talking?
we have a special guest joining us for this half inning. So we are headed now to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Union Hill leading Avon 5-4. And just for this next half inning, we wanted to just bring some flavor into what the town ball scenes are really like across the state of Minnesota. And joining us right now is the scorekeeper and avid fan of the Union Hill Bulldogs, Noreen Geeson. And Noreen, thanks for joining us for a few minutes here. And tell me, how long has it been that you've been keeping the books for this Union Hill Bulldogs team?
This is my 45th year.
45 years. What do you think is that draw that makes you want to come back every summer to keep the book and keep what's going on in Union Hill baseball?
Oh, I love baseball, and the guys are fun. They're just they are cheer for each other and everything, and they're goofy. They're just fun to be around.
How did this summer play out with the restrictions that were put on and the start of the season the way it was? How did this play out in Union Hill, and how did it play out for you?
Well, for me, I kind of stayed out of the dugout. In fact, I thought maybe I wouldn't be doing it at all, and then first game we went to, then they kind of reached the scorebook over the fence and said, "Do you want to keep the book out there?" So I readily agreed.
Matt Meyer at the plate for Avon here, the leadoff hitter in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Union Hill leading 5-4. We've had a lot of action on the base paths. It's been a good game for scorekeeping. It was referred to us by the manager, John Mossberg, that you are the most fair scorekeeper that he has ever met, and he believes maybe the most fair scorekeeper in the state. As we have a base hit from Meyer, he flares it out to right field and gets the base knock to start the bottom half of the 4th inning. Would you say that's a fair assessment on your scorekeeping ability, and what do you take a lot of pride in how you keep your book?
Well, I do how I keep the book. I to try to get everything in there, but I often have to ask if the hit or an error because I don't like to be too harsh on anyone. so I don't want them yelling at me.
Yeah, so on that play, like the hard line ground ball we saw to third base in the inning previous that ricocheted off the knee, no doubt that's a base hit, right? You're not going to you're not going to punish anybody on that side.
Well.
Tell me about Union Hill baseball. It's such a pretty ballpark, picturesque, and what this team means to the area.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just a lot of family. Or from New Prague, or even those that come from they're related. It's just I don't know, there's the good fans, and I mean, this year, everybody was scared they weren't going to get to play at all, so just to get to play, even a half a season, they were pretty thrilled, and you can see by, out of 25 guys, 22 of our guys made it, but a couple of them are gone to college.
Yep. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Count 2-1 to Bjorn Hansen. Hansen has reached both times for Avon. We have a leadoff single by Matt Meyer, and Hansen is now the count moving to 2-2 on the foul ball straight back to the net. And we want to let you get back to your job, but to be here, state tournament time, and have this happen again for Union Hill with these kids that you love. What does this all mean to you, Noreen?
Well, the thing is, I met my husband at the first state tournament game that Union Hill was played in. I was there watching the game, and I met him after the game, and that's so. So I've been with Union Hill, for that many years, and it's just I've always liked baseball, even when I was a kid.
Well, best of luck to the team, and thanks for stopping by today. And hopefully the scorebook reads good for your team once the day is over with.
Yep, I bring lots of lead in my pencil so that I can get so we can do a lot of scoring.
Well, we're gonna need all that lead today. As another base runner is on board with the walk, so runners at first and second. We'll let you get back to your job. Thanks for joining us, and good luck to you. Good luck to the Bulldogs the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Noreen. Noreen Geeson joining us here at the ballpark as score for 45 years for Union Hill. And we very much appreciate her taking her time, coming out of the dugout, and joining us for a few minutes on the stream today. So Bjorn Hansen walks. Matt Myers moved over to second on that walk. And that brings up Caleb Curry. And Curry with a big base hit that drove in 2 runs in his last at-bat. In his third at-bat of the game, he flew out to right in the first inning, the double in the second inning. Now with nobody out here in the fourth, Avon trailing 5-4, runners at first and second. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch is up high, 2 balls and a strike. Approaching the pitcher. Thought the breaking ball might have broke into the zone, dropped into the zone, but that is not the case. 2 balls and a strike, 2 runners on, nobody out. Avon trailing 5-4 and looking to rally back here in the fourth inning. Curry looks at the breaking ball. This one in for a strike, and the count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls and 2 strikes. Curry with 2 RBI in the game. Breaking ball is outside, and the count moves full. So runners at first and second, and it is the number 1 and 2 hitters. So you might see some movement by the runners on the base. We'll see how the manager, Reed Voigt, plays it for Avon. You see what town ball means with Noreen Geeson and how she met her husband at the first game, and now she gets to write another walk into the scorebook as the bases are full. So lots of base runners in this game. And a trip to the mound, and Krachin, who came into the game in the third inning, got out of the third with runners on base, but nobody crossed the plate. He had 2 runners were left on base. So now 3 runners are on base, nobody out. The bases are packed full of Lakers. Taylor Holthouse is center fielder who has 2 strikeouts on the game. Is coming to the plate at the big chance to move Avon ahead in the score. 5-4 your score. 10 hits already for Union Hill. 6 hits for Avon. So 16 base hits. Lots of walks that I'm not even going to tally up at this moment right now. 2 more walks in this inning. A base hit and 2 walks have loaded the bases. Remember, it was walks that was the downfall for Conrad Mossberg. Holthouse pops it up, and a first baseman struggling to figure out where it's at, and it's off his glove and foul. That's an interesting call right there because the ball tipped off of the glove of the first baseman, Joe Beckman, but it almost looked like it came back in to fair territory off his glove and landed right by the line. So he had no play, or he did not make the catch. He was kind of staggering back and forth around the baseline. And the pitch to Holthouse is a strike, so the count quickly 0-2. Staggered a little bit. You can go back. You just drag the bar on your screen, and you can go back and watch the play. He never felt comfortable when the ball went up. He came across the runner and over the bag at first and just never had his footing underneath him, and the ball flicks off his glove in foul territory, and I thought it almost landed back in fair territory. So bases are loaded. 0-2, a big chance to get an out there goes by the wayside for Union Hill, and those are the instances that come back to bite you right in the backside later in the game when you need to figure out who wins and who loses. Not recording outs that you probably should record. They just call that there's no error on the board on that one. So that is not an error if you're scoring. Strike 3 called, so the third strikeout for Holthouse. That's the second time he's gone down looking in a row. Riley Voigt comes to the plate.
Second baseman number 9, Riley Voigt.
Voigt 0 for 2 on the game. He flew out to left field last at-bat. And with the bases loaded, he lines a single in between the short and the third, and that's going to score the tying run. So Voigt, the manager's brother, delivers the base knock to left field, and that's going to score the tying run, and we are 5-5 here in the fourth inning. That scores Meyer his second run of the day. And Voigt with the RBI. Hansen moving over to third. Caleb Curry's at second. Bases remain loaded for Cole Fucher. Fucher singled with one out in the third inning. He's got the bases loaded in a tie game, and his first pitch is hacked away and fouled off down the first base line. So Jack Kreutchen gives up his first run. And a ball is hit high in the air to center field. Geeson is underneath it, and Geeson's making the catch, but that will score a run. So give a sacrifice RBI to Cole Fucher. And that scores Bjorn Hansen with the go-ahead run. Avon now leading 6-5 as they seesaw back in front. Fucher picks up the RBI.
Becker.
6-5 your score. Avon with 4 in the second, 2 here in the fourth. Josh Becker, who is 1 for 1 with a walk, run scored. He singled his last time up. Runners at first and second. They did not advance on the sacrifice fly. No balls, 1 strike to Becker. Pitch outside, and the count goes to 1-1. Lots of action in this one so far, and we're in the fourth inning. 11 runs scored. We're close to 20 base hits. Fly ball to right field, and it is going to Beckius, and Beckius makes the catch. So Josh Becker flies out to end the inning, but 2 more runs are going to score. There were 2 walks that led to it, but 2 base hits as well. 2 runners left on base. So the score 6-5. We're going to go to the 5th inning. You're watching the State C Amateur Baseball Tournament here in Minnesota, brought to you by PrepSpotlight.tv, the Minnesota Baseball Association, Wings Financial, and also Xfinity. Back here in Milroy, and it's Avon bouncing back to the lead here as we go to the top half of the fifth inning. They've scored in the even innings, 4 runs in the second, 2 runs in the fourth, and they have taken the lead, but I think there's plenty of baseball left to be played. And as we brought in Noreen Geeson from Union Hill in the last half inning to talk about her history and her love for baseball and what town ball means in Union Hill and the area around it. We want to now talk to a longtime member of the Avon Lakers team and a very familiar baseball name in the area up around Avon and all the great communities around there. Troy Wunderlich joining us right now here at the ballpark. Troy, what's it mean for you to be at the state tournament and maybe state tournament 2020 when you're talking about what everybody has gone through this year?
Absolutely. Just the fact that we're able to come together and play baseball, it means the world. And you couldn't ask for a better day for this. And just 2 great teams are battling. And this is what every kid dreams of.
We start the fifth inning here. Adam Geeson at the plate. Geeson, the center fielder for Union Hill, and count 0-1 with the pitcher Kleinschmidt as he's working in relief of Matt Pickelman, who started the game. Everybody knows about the baseball in that part of the state. Talk to me about the baseball in the community of Avon and the communities around and what this town team means to the community.
Well, this team was established in 1914, and
that's amazing.
It is, and there has been community support throughout the whole thing. The field is right off the interstate. If anyone's ever driven by Avon, it's the first thing you see when you get on the exit. And it's prime real estate, but the community's always supported it. And every Sunday when there's a game, you get the whole community coming out, and there's very few events where you can get such support like that.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Geeson, the leadoff hitter for Union Hill here in the top of the fifth inning, and the pitch from Kleinschmidt is fouled back. We are talking with a longtime member of the Avon Lakers, Troy Wunderlich, played at Augustana and with the Riverbats up in St. Cloud as well. Why is baseball so big in Stearns County and the surrounding area?
It's a great question. Avon, for example, brings together 5-6 communities that they all come together to play in Avon, and I think that's the draw. You're out working in the fields or you're out working, and on Sunday it brings everybody together after church. Everybody comes together. Everybody comes together, and it's a community outing, and you see old friends, you make new friends.
Base hit that Caleb Curry tried to track down, unable to get it. So Geeson has been up 3 times, and he has reached base with base hits all 3 times. So 3 for 3 for Geeson, and that's going to bring up Jack Becker. A lot of Beckers here as well, trying to keep them all straight on both teams. And that is part of really the next question. If you get the families and you get the names that just become so familiar. And town ball is really about community and family, is it not?
Oh, absolutely. In Avon, we the Schleppers, we stole a couple of them from farming. They're still there. Absolutely, it's a family tradition. I mean, I'm sure we have guys that could trace their roots all the way back.
When it comes to this time of the year, now it's 1 game and you're done, and the season ends up. Is the state tournament what people play for, or is it really the entire season and what the entire town ball season means, and the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs and the travel of a season that make it special for amateur baseball in Minnesota?
I think it's the guys. You get together, you build friendships, and it's about the guys. And it depends on your tradition. In Avon, we come together, and that season means the world to us. But we're playing for regions, we're playing for state. We've set up that tradition, and the guys are disappointed. Even if they were, it's a great game today. But if they were to lose, it's still all about trying to get that state title.
Great play by third baseman Meyer as he makes the fielding play. The throw was a little high, and it pulls Voigt up off the bag, so everybody is safe. Call it a fielder's choice. Becker is at first. Geeson is at second base. So this game has been this way. Back and forth we go. I would guess as a baseball guy, you kind of figure this one may be back and forth for 9 innings, huh?
I think by the second inning we figured out that this was going to be a hitting game. Thankfully both teams came to hit, and we have a good game going.
All right, Troy Wunderlich joining us. Thanks for your time this morning, and good luck to Avon today, and however far they advance on.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right. Troy Wunderlich joining us here on the stream on PrepSpotlight.tv as the bunt is laid down by Danny Beckius, and they record the out at first with the sacrifice. Runners move over to second and third. Two-4 on the putout, and runners now at second and third as Beckius gets his job done. Jacob Becker coming to the plate. Becker with 3 runs batted in already this game, and he has 2 more duck on the pond. Or is it ducks? Plural, ducks on the pond. 6-5 your score. We have 1 out here in a wild one. Lots of runs, lots of walks, 18 hits, 2 errors. The scoreboard operator is getting a sore finger from having to push the button so many times. Becker fouls the first pitch off from Kleinschmidt. And another big situation here in the top of the 5th inning where the lead seems to change almost every half inning. I think it has in 4 of the last 5 half innings. Becker wearing 46, playing second base, is doubled to left and singled to right. Curry's going to field and throw the ball to third to get the non-force out. They tag out the runner. The Gieson scores on the play to tie the game. And the game is now squared up at 6-6. Becker will reach on the fielder's choice, and 6-5 on your putout to get Jack Becker out, the cousin of Jacob Becker. And that is the second out of the inning. But the run scores give the RBI to Becker again, so he has 4 runs batted in. Becker, the RBI king so far of this tournament with 4. And that's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Derek Mossberg. So just a runner on first now as the runner who was on second, Jack Becker, erased on the play by Caleb Curry. He goes to third to get the lead runner. And the first pitch is over for a strike to Mossberg. Mossberg has reached base both times he's been up. Last time an infield single, that was the one that went off the knee of Meyer at third base. So runner at first for Mossberg. And the pitch is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lots of things happening. The base paths will need to be raked and manicured because there's been a lot of movement on it. Running on it on the pitch is Jacob Becker, and he's safe at second base. Swing and a miss by Mossberg, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th inning in a 6-6 ball game. Union Hill with 3 runs in the 2nd inning, 2 runs in the 3rd, and they've come back now with a run here in the 5th inning. 11 hits on the game. 2 hits this inning. Pitch high from Kleinschmidt, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch is hit hard. Mossberg singles to left. The throw will come home, but it's way up the first base line. And the RBI single from Mossberg scores Becker after he steals second. So that stolen base moved him into scoring position, and they take advantage of it. And Union Hill now is up 7-6. So they bounce back in front on the third base hit of the inning off of Kleinschmidt. Had Novak running at first base for Mossberg. Mossberg will get props, fist bumping. It's social distance fist bumping that Mossberg gets, and Joe Becker at the plate. Becker singled in the first, was hit by a pitch in the second. He popped up in the third, and now he's batting here in the 5th. So 4 at-bats for the leadoff hitter, Joe Becker, who plays first base, and he flies to center field. Holthouse backs up, does a little karaoke as he backs up, but he gets his feet underneath him, and the inning is over with, and we're going to step aside and take a break. You're watching state tournament coverage, the Class C tournament, Union Hill in a wild one, leading 7-6 over the Avon Lakers in first-round play. You're watching PrepSpotlight.tv. Will Kleinschmidt, the pitcher of record, flies out to center field, and that starts the inning. The bottom half of the fifth inning here. Union Hill and Avon, 7-6 is your score. This is going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Carter Holthouse. He's walked and scored, and he struck out his last time up in the third. First pitch by Critchen is a strike. Jack Critchen came in the third inning, so he's in his third inning of work. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count is at 1-1 with one out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Some other scores to pass along for you. That's what we were checking on, and in the sixth inning, over in the Class C tournament in Shakopee, Laverne has built a 5-1 lead over Mora, and in the Class B tournament, that's in Springfield, and in the Class B tournament in Shakopee, it is 6-4 Northfield over East Grand Forks, and that in the fifth inning. That game started at 11 o'clock, just like this one did. We are in the bottom of the fifth inning here, and a heavy offensive game, 7-6, 19 base hits so far. Jack Critchen trying to get through an inning without any more damage for Union Hill. And Carter Holthouse fouls back a pitch, and the count stays at 2-2. One out here in the fifth. Holthouse with a run scored earlier after he walked. A little flare over the head of Becker at first base, and Holthouse gets his first hit of the game. And Matt Meyer comes to the plate, and Meyer has been busy on the base paths as well. He is 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored, and he's walked as well. The only time he didn't score is when he led off the first inning with a single. We are in the bottom of the fifth inning. One out, one on.
Right to hold. Come on. Here we go.
First pitch is high, ball 1 to number 2, Matt Meyer, the third baseman. Critchen with the throw over to first, but back in time easily is Holthouse. fact, the first 3 batters for Avon in their 9 plate appearances have reached base 8 of those 9 times as Kreitchen gets the strike across and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The score is correct. Union Hill leading at 7-6. 20 base hits between these two teams. Lots of base runners. $14 base runners for Avon alone in this one. Runner at first, in the pitch delivered, curveball strike, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matt Meyer from Sartell, right-handed hitting third baseman, gets himself ready for the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch from Kreitchen, and the pitch is up high, and the count goes to 2-2. A lot of base runners. A lot of opportunities to score, both teams, and just barely past the halfway point, so I would expect that there will be a lot more opportunities and a lot more runs put on the board. 2-2 pitch, curveball, was a very good curveball. Up high, and the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. It was a nice curveball. It had a good break to it. 3-2 the count, runner at first. We have 1 out. No doubt some of the Union Hill fans thought that breaking ball caught some plate. Oh, they had the runner going, and the shortstop slipped over, and that allows Meyer to rip a single. I think it would have been a sharp single anyway, but the shortstop had moved himself from the position. But I think that would have been a base hit anyway if I'm gonna make the judgment on that. There's no doubt that ball was hit very hard, and I'm not sure the shortstop, even playing in his normal position without moving, was going to make that play. So runners now at first and second, and it looks like we're going to have another pitching change. We're going to take a break and step aside. We'll be right back and come back and refresh on who's into the game. Pitching is Jack Kreitchen, I believe, is done, and we will move on to the next pitcher in a 7-6 game. 2 runners on. That's the theme of this day. Runners on the base paths. We'll be right back on PrepSpotlight.tv.
What's special about high school sports? The passion, the excitement, the memories.
Down on 3 at the buzzer. Good! It's good! DuBois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community, connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
All right, we're going to try to catch up with what's going on right now. So Joe Becker, who was at first base, he's going to come in to pitch now. And it looks like Dusty Steinhoff, wearing number 42, he is heading over to probably play first base, looking at the glove. Kreitchen goes out to Joe Becker will be the third pitcher of the game for Union Hill in this wild offensive showcase with 21 base hits and base runners galore, hit batters and walks, 2 errors as well. So a lot of ways people have reached base in this one. Union Hill leading 7-6. It's the bottom of the 5th, but this lead has been changing. Every time we blink an eye, it seems like the other team has taken the lead. And here we go again in the bottom of the 5th with Avon with 2 runners on. Bjorn Hansen, who's reached all 3 times. He's walked twice, and he's singled and stole a base as well. Squares to bunt, and Becker's first pitch of the game is a strike. So Hansen singled to left and stole a base. He's walked and scored twice. He also, the walk, scored a run. He hits it hard to center field. Geeson is there, and Geeson makes the catch. Holthouse is going to tag from second and head on to third. So 2 outs now, both outs recorded in center field. So Hansen has the RBI on the bases loaded walk. He flies out there, so that's the first time he has not reached base, and that's going to bring up Curry. Curry has a base hit, and he walked as well. Caleb Curry batting. Becker on the mound for Union Hill. Runner at first and runner at third. 1-0 pitch is popped up. Coming over is the catcher, and the catcher cannot get it. He goes into the cement railing. The ball stayed in play, but it careened off the netting and uncatchable. Pretty good effort by Lee to go after it, but it's all for naught. The new first baseman, Dustin Steinhoff, who is playing at first base, he also made a move towards the play. So Curry is still alive with 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. No runs in yet this inning, but they are threatening for sure, are the Lakers of Avon. And they've got their best hitter, Caleb Curry, at the plate. And the pitch hits him. Jensen hits him with a breaking pitch, and the bases are full. So Meyer will move over to second base as Curry takes first, and Taylor Holthouse comes to the plate. So Taylor, the center fielder, has 0 for the day. He's one of the very few that has not been marked on the base paths today with 3 strikeouts. He has another chance with the bases juiced. He came up in the last inning in the 4th with the bases loaded as well. Or he came up with runners on. First pitch is a ball to the center fielder, Taylor Holthouse, the brother of the catcher. Catcher is sitting over on third base, so he can drive his brother in. Instead, he hits it really hard, but he hits it right at the shortstop, Byrd, and that's going to end the inning. So a line drive ends it with no runs being scored. 1 hit, a walk, and a hit batter. I'm sorry, 2 hits, a walk, and a hit batter. No errors, and the bases were left full. So we head to the 6th inning, and the grounds crew is out, and they have to do a lot of work on that base pass. I think they brought out an extra broom to try to smooth things out, as there's been grooves put in between first, second, and third. We're going to step aside for a look at what happened in the Class A tournament last week, and we'll be back on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Now he cracks one hard to left field. A 2-run home run. Dead center field.
And the pitch. Grounded towards the right side and past the diving first baseman. Coming up throwing is the right fielder. There will be a play at the plate, and he is safe. He gets underneath the tag. 1 in the second, and another one. How about that? The trifecta of home runs as Davis hammers it out.
Ready for the fly ball, pretty well hit the left field. Bulow going back for it, still going, and it is off the wall, or the fence, I should say. Knight around third, throw to the plate, and it would have got him, but Granger could not hang on.
Runner Jenkins. Here's one hit in the air to left. carrying deep away back. Miller to the fence. His second home run of the night. A 2-run shot to left.
You saw that highlight from the St. Anthony Hogs in the last game of last Saturday night as they advanced on. They were just about ready to get things going in the Class A quarterfinals. St. Anthony will be taking on the defending Class A champions, who are the Minneapolis Crowbers. That game's starting at 1 o'clock. Jeff Pappas has the call for us right here on PrepSpotlight.tv. You can click over and see a few minutes of that one. As this game continues on, we go to the top of the 6th inning. Nathan Byrd, who caught that line drive to end the last half inning. The shortstop for Union Hill is at the plate, and the count is 0-1 as Kleinschmidt is still pitching for Avon. A ball and a strike. Kleinschmidt delivering to Berg. Berg has reached twice, hit by pitch, he doubled, and he also flew out to center field. Foul ball makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Berg with a double in that inning, where 4 doubles were recorded by Union Hill when they scored 3 runs in the second. Pitches down and away, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Union Hill Bulldogs leading this one now 7-6. Not surprised that Avon didn't score in the 5th, leaving the bases full. They haven't scored in an odd inning yet. They saved their scoring for even innings only. 4 runs in the second, 2 runs into the 4th inning. Foul ball wide of the bag at third, and the count remains 2-2 to the shortstop, Nathan Byrd. Nate Byrd played at Xavier. College baseball experience, and he swings a little late on the fastball from Kleinschmidt and fouls it away, and count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lots of base runners, so this game is playing at about a 3-hour clip, as we have just had bodies along the base paths all day long. That ball's hit hard towards the new right fielder, and a very nice play by Stick, and in right field. So Berg flies out to start the 6th inning, and that's going to bring up the man who started the game on the mound, the pitcher/designated hitter. Now he is strictly just a designated hitter, and that's Conrad Mossberg. Mossberg is 1 for 3. He singled his last time up in the 4th inning, but he was erased on a nice 5-4-3 double play. Kleinschmidt delivers a strike inside, in on the knees, and it's 0-1 to Mossberg. Mossberg only pitched 2 innings. He is not a pitcher of record in this game. He left trailing 4-3, but Union Hill has come back to take the lead a couple times. 1-1 pitch is popped straight up, right back, and right on top of us, and lands on the roof and then ricochets off. So 1 ball and 2 strikes at the count to Mossberg. The family affair that is Union Hill baseball. 3 Beckers, Mossberg manager, 2 Mossbergs in the starting lineup. Curveball nearly hits Conrad, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 21 hits between the 2 teams. Union Hill has 12 of them. And a hard drive to the gap. That one might get through. Nope, Stick cuts it off. He does a nice job of cutting it off, and Mossberg, with his 2nd straight base hit, he is now 2 for 4. A 1-out single, base hit number 14, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Nate Lee. Lee is 0 for 3, and in the last inning, he is the one the last time he was up at the plate, he grounded into that sharp 5-4-3 double play that was turned by Meyer to Voigt to Fucher. Top half, 6th inning, 7-6 Union Hill. They have a runner back on here again. They have had a runner on in every inning. There has not been a clean inning for Avon pitching. There hasn't been a clean inning in this game. Ball 2 on the fastball that's up high and in to Nate Lee. Mentioned earlier, Nate Lee played at Bethany Lutheran down in Mankato. Not too far. Hop, skip, and a jump from Union Hill, New Prague area. And Nate Lee is from Vicelli. You know where Vicelli, Minnesota is at? My guy who knows everything sitting next to me gave me a blank stare right there. He should go right to his phone if he's doing his job and look it up. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, I think it's a Viscili. You're watching PrepSpotlight.tv, and you're getting a geography lesson at the same time here in a 7-6 ball game. Runner on first, Nate Lee at the plate. Kleinschmidt delivers a fastball that's fouled away. That one maybe wasn't a fastball. I think it was spinning just a little bit. Two balls, 2 strikes. Runner on first as Union Hill tries to extend their lead, and the ball is hit off the trademark, and that is trouble. When you hear that sound and it's a blooper like that, that's going to get right over the head of the shortstop Curry and right in between the right and the left, or the center and the left fielder. So 2 base hits in this inning, and Lee gets his first knock of the game. Bloop single, and that is going to move the runners over. Mossberg over to second. It's going to bring up Adam Geeson, the center fielder. And Geeson's been busy in the field, and he's been busy when he comes to the plate. He is 3 for 3, scoring 3 runs. And the first pitch is low, ball 1. So Geeson all over the base pass. Single to left in the second inning, single to center field in the third inning, and single and an infield single to Caleb Curry, the shortstop, in his last at-bat, and he has come around to score all 3 times. So 2 balls, no strikes now, 1 out here in the inning. Two and 1 now is the called strike to Geeson. Geeson again with an opportunity to create some action, create some things happening, maybe a run or 2 being scored. Fastball up high, count goes to 3-1. 1 pitch away from possibly loading the bases for the on-deck hitter, Jack Becker. Pitch is low, and that's exactly what happened. So base on balls, Geeson moves on to base for his 4th time in 4 trips to the plate. Mossberg over to third base. At second base is going to be Lee. Geeson at first base, and we have a pitching change. So Kleinschmidt is done for the day. And we have a new pitcher, and it looks like it's going to be one of the drafted players for Avon. Get that name for you here. In just a second, we're going to keep it right here and let you see the ballpark. Oh, no pitching change. That we had already moved the. I thought a motion had been made, but no pitching change has been made. So Kleinschmidt stays in to face Becker. Kleinschmidt came into the game in the 3rd inning. 2 outs in the 3rd inning. He remains in the game in a jam right now. Bases are loaded. Kleinschmidt delivering to Becker. It's a fly ball, should be playable. The center fielder was way over playing towards left field, and Stick was kind of looking at the center fielder and the ball at the same time, and it falls in between the 2. Likely be a base hit. We will give the RBI to Becker, his 2nd of the game. So Jack Becker delivers it. So runners move over. Bases are loaded. We're waiting for it. It's one of those plays where the center fielder was so far over to the left side that I don't know exactly how Stick was playing it, and they call it an error. The error makes it 8-6. I guess you're going to call it an error 9. You could almost give it a half error on each of the center fielder and the right fielder, although the center fielder, Holthouse, had to make a long, long run. So this is not Beckius at the plate. This is a pinch hitter. This is number 23 for Union Hill. So Union Hill now has Zach Dubanowski at the plate. This is Zach Dubanowski. And he's hitting for Beckius. And Dubanowski is hit. So add another run to the scoreboard, and it is 9-6 now. Sorry, my scoreboard is so hot and heavy that runs are being scored when they don't even score. So don't disregard that score as we change it. It is 9-6. So Dubanowski will pick up an RBI. That's an RBI the hard way as he gets his first at-bat here in the 6th. That scores Nate Lee. Dubanowski with the RBI. Moving over to third base will be Adam Geeson. At second base is Becker, and with just one out in the inning, the bases are still full, and now we have a pitching change. Am I allowed to talk about the pitching change now? All right, very good. And this is Swanson. We'll get all the particulars here. Matt Swanson from Uppsala, the Blue Jays of Uppsala. He's a left-hander, and Matt Swanson comes into the game. Oh, glory be to my scorebook on this one. This is the one where it's a mess. The only way I'll be able to make sense of this scorebook is having vodka while I'm cleaning it up. Copious amounts of it. 9-6 is your score here on PrepSpotlight.tv, and it's been a wild one here through 5+ innings. We're still in the top of the 6th. Oh, very nice. So Vaselli is to the south and the east of New Prague. So that's another geographical lesson here for you on this edition of Minnesota Prep Spotlight. And Matt Swanson, the lefty from Uppsala, the draftee, one of the 3 draftees. He's coming in now to try to save the day for Avon as this thing has the chance to get a little ugly. Dubanowski comes in as a pinch hitter, and he is hit. And so he moves on. Zach, I got to make sure I get that first name right. Zach Dubanowski. And Zach giving him all the full credit for coming in and getting hit by a pitch. If you're going to get an RBI and you do it that way, I want to give you full credit. He is from New Prague. So the bases are loaded. Jacob Becker comes in. He has 4 runs batted in. Of the 9, 4 come off the bat of Jacob Becker. The last time on a ground ball fielder's choice. They have 2 base hits already. Bases loaded, and the first pitch by Swanson nearly gets away from Holthouse. It does get away from Holthouse, but not nearly far enough away to allow the runner from third to score. And the runner at third is Geeson. Again, just to refresh you on the base paths, Geeson's at third, Becker's at second, Dubanowski is at first. This is Jacob Becker, the cousin of Joe and Jack Becker at the plate, and the 1-0 pitch is going to catch the outer corner, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. This is a big moment of the game, and the ball again skips past Holthouse, but Geeson not comfortable enough to come charging home with a shot at scoring the 10th run of the game for Union Hill. So 2 balls and a strike is with you get a pitcher who comes over from another team in a drafty situation, and he's thrown to a catcher. Not sure how many times that Holthouse has caught Swanson in his lifetime. 2-1 the count, and Becker drives it foul, and that will get over the fence and out of play, and a one-handed catch made down the line But with all the posts, I don't think you saw it on PrepSpotlight.tv, so it will not make our plays of the week. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases are loaded here in a game that has seen men on base at a rate that is exponential, I think, to sometimes normal baseball games. And the 2-2 pitch swung on a miss, a nasty pitch, maybe even like a screwball, moving away from the left-hander, away from the right-hander. And Becker goes down swinging.
Now batting first baseman number 42, Dusty Steinhoff.
For the second out, so Dustin Steinhoff comes in to hit. In his first at-bat here in the 6th inning. He's got the elbow out, and he looks at first pitch, strike, a fastball right at the knees. Steinhoff wearing number 42 for the Union Hill Bulldogs. He's from Jordan. And a ground ball to third. Meyer's going to field it, and he's going to win the race to third to retire the runner. Coming from second to third, that was Becker was making the play. So the inning ends on a 5 unassisted putout at third. And that ends the inning. 8 batters come to the plate. And we're going to tally the hits when I come back. I've got a headache right now. We're going to step aside here as we go to the bottom of the 6th. It is 9-6 Union Hill over Avon. We'll be back right here on PrepSpotlight.tv. All right, we come back here to the bottom of the 6th inning. Union Hill leads at 9-6. If recent history tells us anything, we expect Avon to score some runs this inning. It's an even inning. They've scored 4 in the second, 2 in the fourth. They need some runs to shave this 3-run deficit. We had a score here, now I forgot it already, in the Shakopee game. 6-4. Northfield is leading East Grand Forks in the bottom of the 7th. That's in the first round of the Class B tournament. That'll be the first completed game, as the game last night between St. Michael and Chanhassen was suspended and will be finished up on Sunday night following, that would be tomorrow night following play. So Riley Voigt leading off here in the bottom of the 6th, and I have a Class C score. No, I'd have it's a scoreless game right now in the first inning in Class A between the Cobras and St. Anthony Hogs. The Minneapolis Cobras won Class A last year. Riley Voigt at the plate, and he sees a strike pitch on the very first pitch from Joe Becker. So Becker pitching again here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Voigt at the plate. Ground ball into the hole, and that'll be a base hit. So Riley Voigt leads off the inning with a single to left field. He is now 2 for 4 with 2 base hits in his last 2 at-bats. That's going to bring up Cole Fucher. Fucher picked up an RBI on a sacrifice fly his last time up. He is 1 for 2. Before that, he flew out to right field. He also had a single to center. So Fucher, the right-handed hitting first baseman, comes into the batter's box to face Becker, runner at first, and nobody out. Curveball hit right towards third, knocked down and knocked the glove off of Jensen, and they get the out. So the gloveless play at third base, and a nice play by Jack Becker without a glove. It removed the glove. The ball was hit so hard it removed the glove off of Jack Becker's hand. Advancing to second base on the play is Riley Voigt. So that's going to bring up Josh Becker. the Becker from Avon counters the 3 Beckers from Union Hill. Josh Becker is DHing. He walked his first time up. He has singled and he flew out to right field. He scored 1 run. Bottom of the 6th inning here. It's 9-6 the score. And Becker misses to Becker. 2 balls and no strikes. As I mentioned earlier in a joke, I'll say it now over the air. I think we should have had Becker Furniture World sponsor us in this game. 4 Beckers playing. The Becker Bulldogs, also a great high school football program. 3 balls and no strikes on Becker to Becker. Josh looking to reach base. Joe not wanting Josh to reach first base. And a strike called. Three balls and a strike, 1 out. With a runner at second base. See if my prediction holds true and if Avon scores a run in this even inning. Josh Becker with the open stance in the right-handed batter's box. Looks at strike 2. Same spot as the last pitch. Again, behind home plate today, we have Dan Atkins and Russ Lundquist is in the field. They will flip-flop. Russ will be behind the plate for our 1 o'clock game, or our 2 o'clock game, which I think is right now likely not to start at 2 o'clock. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the runner at second. Bottom of the 6th inning. Becker to Becker, and it's fouled off. Into the backyard of our neighbors here in Milroy. Milroy, a town of 255, I believe we saw on the sign. 252. I'm being corrected again by the executive producer. 3 people have moved into town since that sign was placed, so I think I am right. 3-2 the count. Josh Becker at the plate, and he fouls it off again. Fouls it over the ambulance. We've got ambulance. We've got some concession stands. Interesting, they just made the announcement. Last night we just had the 1 game, so we didn't get to see it. But because this is more attended than what we saw last week at the Class A tournament, they have to remove the entire stands, or they have to have everybody leave the stands and leave the ballpark so they can get the next group in. So unlike other years where you could come in and watch other games, it's not so much the case today. So the ground ball to the pitcher, and Becker will throw out Becker on a 1-3 ground out. So Josh Becker is retired by Joe Becker. There's 2 outs. Voigt stays at second base, and Kleinschmidt comes to the plate. Kleinschmidt is 0 for 3. He's one of just the couple that haven't been able to reach base yet. He now would like to score a run, drive in a run. Kleinschmidt had been pitching. He played right field. He's been pitching, and he was replaced by Swanson in the last half inning. He looks at a strike on the first pitch from Becker. So Will Kleinschmidt struck out and has flown out to center field twice. 0-1 the count here in the bottom of the 6th. A lot of action, 9-6, 15 runs and 24 base hits. Breaking ball was on the outside part of the plate. Kleinschmidt gets a piece of it, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Could it be that Union Hill will put a goose egg up on Avon's side of the scoreboard for the 2nd inning in a row? That hasn't happened today, where a team has gone 2 innings without putting up a number on the scoreboard, and we have not had a single run scored ever in an inning. It's all been crooked numbers. 0-2 pitch, grounded towards Steinhoff. He's going to flip it over to Jensen, and they get the out. So 3-1 on the nice play by Steinhoff, and he flips it over to the pitcher Jensen, who had been playing first base. So he's very recognized at that bag over there, and that's 3 outs. So a leadoff base hit leads to nothing. 1 runner left on base, and we go to the top half of the 7th inning now, and it is 9-6. Union Hill over Avon. We're going to step aside, and we'll be right back on PrepSpotlight.tv.
What's special about high school sports? The passion. The excitement. The memories.
Down on 3 at the buzzer. Good! It's boy wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community. Connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
We're going to the bottom of the ninth here at the game in Springfield, and Laverne is trying to hang on to a 2-run lead. They lead at 5-3 going into the bottom of the ninth inning in Springfield, trying to advance on to the second round. And we'll update the brackets as to who the winner of that game plays. The winner of this game will play Lamberton next week, and right now it's Union Hill leading 9-6. Swanson's still on the hill. He's from Uppsala, drafted by Avon, and he will be facing Joe Becker, the pitcher now. If I can even read that correctly on my scorebook anymore. And it's Swanson versus Becker, and Becker with a single over the outstretched hands of the third baseman Meyer. So Joe Becker reaches base again. He's the leadoff hitter for the game and leading off again in the seventh. That's the third time today he has reached base. He's yet to score. He singled in the first. He was hit by a pitch in the second, and now he singles to lead off the seventh inning. They have put up 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings as Union Hill. They come here to the seventh inning, and Swanson from Uppsala, the lefty, throws over to first base to keep Becker honest. Nathan Byrd at the plate now. Berg reached base his first 2 times. He has flown out his last 2 times. So Berg, the shortstop, gets a base hit right inside the bag at third base, and that's going to get Becker running to third. He'll easily make it in, and on the second with a double, another one of the double parade. That's the second double for Byrd, his second hit of the game, and that's going to move Becker down to third base. Conrad Mossberg coming into the plate, and runners at second and third in a 9-6 game. We had a Class B score as well, and that was Northfield still leading East Grand Forks 6-5, I believe was that last report. That game also on PrepSpotlight.tv. We have the lovely and talented Eric Murphy calling games there. I think we have Murphy for a couple games, and then Steve Thompson in for a couple games, and then tomorrow in Class B we have Murphy and Eric Bremer, who is the son of Dick Bremer. Eric, a minor league broadcaster in his own right. There's no minor league baseball this year. You can flip over and listen to that as well. So this is Mossberg with the getting hit. Mossberg has reached now the last 3 times he's come to the plate. This time a curveball that grazes his helmet. So the bases are loaded. You see what the infield that was playing in for Avon in the last half inning. Let's see if they back up and play to double play depth and give up a run. But it's bases loaded here in the seventh. And that is going to bring up Lee. Lee singled and scored the last time he was up, 1 for 3. Strike 1 from Swanson. So we have Becker at third, we have Berg at second, and Mossberg at first. Infield is going to try to cut off the run at home. Everybody playing just off the grass. 0-1 pitch is going to catch the zone, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to the catcher, Nate Lee. Lee had grounded into a double play. He had popped up to the infield, and he singled and scored in the 6th. 0-2 pitches right off the hands, up and in, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Winner here takes on Lamberton next week. Both sides going through a handful of pitchers in this game, and the fly ball to shallow right field. That one might fall. It's Kleinschmidt back out and right. He's going to make the catch, and it was in shallow enough that it does not allow the runner to score from third. So Lee flies out for the first out, a big out there, and that's going to bring up Geeson. Adam Geeson has been on base all 4 times. He has scored 3 times. The last time up he was walked. The 3-run effort for Geeson. He has not been held off the base paths in this one. The infield again will stay in, not going back to double play depth. Trying to cut off that run. They're down 3. They don't want to go down by a full 4. We'll see if this ploy works as Swanson delivers. In for a strike. 0-1 the count. 1 out. Geeson at the plate. Jack Becker on deck. Fastball misses outside in the count. 1-1. Four of the first 6 innings, Union Hill has marked the scoreboard. All crooked numbers. Can they do it again here in the 7th? A little tapper, and it's foul. That hit Geeson right in the foot as he stumbled coming right out of the box. You could tell it stung him. And then he gets hit by the ball as it gets thrown back in. Tough few seconds there for Adam Geeson as they tried to flip the ball back to the umpire. It got over past the umpire and hit Geeson right in looked like the neck. But he hits himself a foul ball, so the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. 9-6 is your score. We've got 3 runners on. That means the bases are full. And Swanson from Uppsala facing Geeson, and Geeson hits it well, but it's right at the left fielder. It's going to be fielded, and the run will score. So give the RBI to Geeson as Bjorn Hansen out in left field makes the play. So Geeson flies out, but it's an RBI. And Geeson doesn't reach base, but he's productive in scoring the run. So it is now 10-6. And that's going to bring up Becker. Becker in the last at-bat had a very interesting at-bat. Flew it out in between center and right field. And the center fielder was playing shifted towards left, and he was sprinting over to try to get it. I think it confused the right fielder, and the ball fell right in between him and it allowed a run to score. He does get an RBI for that, does Becker. He has 2 RBI on the game. 1 ball, 1 strike as Becker's with runners now at first and second trying to increase the lead from 4 to whatever. We'll see what happens with the count 1-1. We are in the top of the 7th. Strike 2 on the fastball from Swanson right at the knees. Lots of base runners. When we go to this next break, I'm going to try to total up all the number of people who reached base today. I don't know if I can count that high. My math skills are weak. 2 balls, 2 strikes as the fastball slides away. And guess what? We still have 3 games left. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yes, where is the libations? On this very nice day. Again, I used the term last night, and I'll use it again as the 2-2 pitches fouled away. It is a classic August Minnesota day. Mid-80s, a little humidity. You can get the corn growing on the back, a big field of corn that stretches all the way from the left field side. Bus coming in, bringing in more players. And, a nice curveball by Swanson. He pulls the string on the curveball to get Becker. And so for the first time, we have just 1 run put on the board by any team, but a wasted opportunity by Union Hill for sure to only score 1 run with the bases loaded in this inning, that they do get 1. 2 runs, 2 people left on base. There was 2 base hits in that inning. They've got 16 base hits in the game. I've got to take a break to catch my breath, take a drink of water. We're going to get to the 7th inning stretch in a game that is now 10-6, Union Hill over Avon, as we go to the bottom of the 7th on PrepSpetLight.tv. Welcome back to Milroy, Minnesota. As you take a look outside of the ballpark, the water tower, blue-clad water tower in the distance, and we are getting ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. Becker, not the town. Becker's all over the darn place, so 4 Beckers on the field, and it is 10-6. So, a Becker still on the mound. That's Joe Becker pitching for Union Hill. And coming to the plate for Avon in this inning is the number 9 hitter. It'll be 9-1-2. And this is Carter Holthouse. Carter has reached base twice, once on a base hit, once on a walk. He walked and scored in the 2nd inning. 10-6 is your score. And the strike 1 pitch is another strike. Breaking ball from Becker gets Holthouse, and it's 0-2. 6 runs on 10 hits. They've committed 3 errors, has Avon. And the 0-2 pitch is a fastball up high. Union Hill, 10 runs on 16 hits. Just getting a little steamy up here in the grandstand right now as we're sitting outside. And another night where we have 3 different media outlets with us as well. I think we have K-Check from New Prague area. We've got 2 from the area up around Little Falls, and it is a full house here on the media side as the count goes to 2-2 to Holthouse. So a lot of excitement, anticipation, and coverage of this State C tournament. There was a time we didn't think there was going to be baseball, and we're playing baseball. And Steinhoff makes the catch at first base. And that pop foul is the first out of the 7th inning. So the game is over with in Laverne in Springfield, and Laverne advances on to the 2nd round with a 5-3 win over Mora. So 1 winner already in Class C today. This game in the bottom of the 7th inning. The games today in both venues were at 11, 2, 5, and 8 o'clock. So Matt Meyer, the 3rd baseman, has been on base all 4 times, and he comes to the plate for the 5th time today in the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing by 4. 3 base hits and 2 runs scored. First pitch is a strike from Becker, and the second pitch is a fastball in the outer half of the plate, and it's quickly 0-2. Becker coming in relief and has pitched very well. Ground ball, though, will get through for a base hit. So you can't keep Matt Meyer off the base paths. It's impossible. 4th hit of the game, and he's at first base, and that'll bring up Bjorn Hansen. Hansen has been on base 3 out of 4 times with 2 walks and a base hit. Joe Becker, the 3rd pitcher of the game for Union Hill. Conrad Mossberg started the game and went 2. Jack Kreitchen came in relief. Kreitchen has been, I think, now playing in center field, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have a runner at first with Becker, Joe Becker. Pitching for Union Hill now is his 3rd inning of pitching. 0-1 pitch on the way in the dirt, and the count is 1-1 to Bjorn Hansen. Hansen, an Augustana Viking. Augustana making the move to Division I and then very, very near future as well. 1-1 pitch is off the end of the bat, popped up right at the second baseman, and Byrd is going to camp out underneath it and make a play. So a pop-up for Hansen. He has now gone 2 straight trips to the plate without reaching. 2 outs in the inning. Caleb Curry coming to the plate, and Caleb has reached his last 3 times. A walk, he was hit by a pitch. He also doubled in the 2nd inning. Curry, we had talked about early on as a guy we were going to mention his name a lot. He did early on make a couple great defensive plays. He also fashioned in an RBI in that 2nd inning, but now can he keep this inning alive as time is running out on Avon, trailing by 4? And he also pops it up. But this one in trouble into shallow right. Very long run, and on the way to make the play, it doesn't make it. He went down hard. That is Beckius out there. And Beckius thought he might have a play on it. He came scrambling in, and he dove straight forward, hat and glasses falling as he dove forward, but he was unable to make the play. So give Curry a bloop single, and Matt Meyer moves all the way over to third. So now Taylor Holthouse comes to the plate, and he has come to the plate with a lot of runners in play the last 3 times, this is his 3rd time in a row. He hit the ball really hard right at Byrd at shortstop last time to end the inning. And he looks at strike 1. So Holthouse is center fielder. St. John's, and a member of the 2012 team that got to the final 8 for Avon. Pitch is low, and the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners at the corners here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It scores 10-6, Union Hill leading it. Avon hasn't scored since the 4th inning. Joe Becker pitching to Taylor Holthouse. 0 for 4 on the game. Needing a base hit now. Curveball is over for a strike as Becker delivers a nice hook for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They're holding on the runner at first. Meyer at third base has free rein. He's taking a very small lead. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch from Becker is chopped right out in front of the plate. Picking it up and throwing it is the catcher Lee, and Holthouse again unable to bring in some runs, and no runs scored for the 3rd straight inning, and we're going to go to the 8th inning now. 2 base hits in the inning and 2 runners left on base. And Joe Becker has done the very fine job in relief. Base runners have been on, but nobody's been able to come across and score the last 3 innings. So we're going to take a break and come back here. You're watching Class C state coverage. Andy Price, Greg Wolfert with you on PrepSpotlight.tv. 80 games of baseball over 4 weekends here. Minnesota Baseball Association partnering up with Prep Spotlight to bring you the state tournaments in 2020. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Milroy. A look at the bleachers here at the stadium the Yankees play at here, the Milroy Yankees. There's 2 teams that call Milroy home. There's the Milroy Irish as well. We come back to the field as the first pitch is a ball to Beckius is back hitting, Danny Beckius. He was pinch hit for earlier, and Dubanowski was hit. That would be Zach Dubanowski. So this is Beckius again, hitting in the 8th, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Change the right, get the right inning in, do some things right here. Just like a bad baseball player, I bat 250 as a score bug operator, so won't stay in the big leagues that long at 250. Pitches outside, 2 balls and a strike to Beckius. In Beckius's at-bats, he struck out twice, and he is 0 for 3. He did have a 0 for 2. He had a sacrifice bunt. So I'm sorry, he did have a sack that led to help score 2 runs in the inning of the 5th. So Beckius comes in, and the count is 3 balls and a strike. We are in the top of the 8th. Game moving along, and it'll delay the 1 o'clock start. So those who are 2 o'clock start, thank you. Those who are interested in watching Fort Ripley taking on Buffalo, it's probably going to start at about 2:30, I'm going to guess. So a walk to Beckius. And that is the first walk by Swanson. Swanson had hit a batter. Now he walks a batter to start the 8th inning. Jacob Becker, the cousin of Joe and Jack, at the plate. He scored twice. He struck out in the 6th. He has 4 runs batted in. A very productive day for number 46. He's the second baseman. Scored, picking up RBIs on base hits in the 2nd and the 3rd, and then on a fielder's choice in that 5th inning. So 4 runs batted in of the 10 runs scored. Timeout called as the third baseman is coming in to defend the bunt. On deck will be Steinoff, Dusty Steinoff from Jordan, who hails from Jordan. We have a pitcher warming up in the Union Hill. It's like number 7, and that's Byrd, Nathan Byrd, the shortstop. Looks like he's getting in some warm-up tosses. Runner at first, 1 strike. And the batter, Jacob Becker. Swanson delivers, and it's high fastball that's hit out towards left field, and diving and making the no catch, fielding it on the bounce, is the left fielder Hansen. And so Becker's going to pick up another base hit. And moving over to second will be Beckius. Third hit of the game for Jacob Becker. And up comes Steinoff. Steinoff pinch hit last time up and hit into a fielder's choice to end the 6th inning. So nobody out and runners at first and second. I forgot I was going to do that. Let's just count the number of base runners. .26 Union Hill batters have reached base today. 1 ball, no strike. 26 Union Hill batters. Line drive right to second base. This has a chance for 2 for the flip over to Curry, and they get the double play. So a tailor-made double play ball hit by Dustin Steinoff. Riley Voigt fields it on a hop, and he flips it over to Curry to eliminate Jacob Becker. Moving over to third on the play is Beckius. So Beckius heads on over. We have a pinch hitter. Matt Collins is coming into the game, and he's hitting for Joe Becker. So Joe Becker, who has been pitching, and he gets hit. So Collins comes into the game wearing number 2, and he quickly moves over to first on a hit batter. So runners at the corner. So Byrd, who was warming up just a moment ago now, he sprints back in and grabs his bat so he can take some hacks here with runners at first and third. Matt Collins from La Center, Minnesota. Infielder by trade. First pitch is a strike to Nathan Byrd. Runners on the corners, first and third, 2 outs. And Byrd hits a high one. Deep left field. Back to the wall, looking up, and it is gone. Nathan Byrd with a 3-run home run for Union Hill. And they have stretched this lead to 7 with a 3-run bomb. That is his third hit of the game, and give him 3 RBI on that one swing. So Byrd leaves the field over the fence in left field, and it is 13-6. Union Hill now commanding lead. And Conrad Mossberg comes to the plate. So Collins scores after getting hit. Becker scores, and of course Byrd crossing home plate with the home run. His first run scored of the game. 3 hits and now 3 runs batted in. So a 3-run bomb by Nathan Byrd. Conrad Mossberg down in the count quickly, 0-2. 2 down here in the top of the 8th inning. Avon now has plenty of work to do, a bigger mountain to climb. Mossberg flips it towards Curry at shortstop. Curry is going to backtrack about 6 steps and make the play for the final out. But 3 runs are going to score. 2 hits in the inning. Nobody left on base. And that makes it 13-6. Union Hill, well over 24 base runners. And then the big swing of the day is no base runner at all, as he just gets to run around the base paths, jumping and skipping, and all happy as he hits a 3-run homer. Congratulations to Nathan Byrd. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on PrepSpotlight.tv. You're watching the State C Amateur Baseball Tournament here in Milroy, Minnesota. Back with you here in the bottom of the 8th inning in Milroy. It's 13-6 now, Union Hill leading. Joe Becker is still pitching. It looked like Berg might have been warming up, but Becker, who was hit for in the last inning, is going to return to the hill for the bottom of the 8th inning. So leading off for the Avon Lakers here in the 8th is Riley Voigt. Voigt has reached his last 2 times, 2 base hits, and he has a run batted in as well. First pitch is a ball from Joe Becker, and ground ball foul right at the dugout, the third base dugout, which houses the Union Hill team. So a ball and a strike, as now Becker and the Union Hill Bulldogs are 6 outs away from advancing on to the second round. Hit hard towards left field and over the head of the left fielder, and a double. Voigt with a double to left field. And it looks like the left fielder is wearing number 4. And number 4 is Geeson. So Geeson is over in left field. And that's right, as I think that is the former pitcher, Kreitchen, who is in center field. So double to lead off this 8th inning for Avon in a game that has tons of offense. It's going to bring up Cole Fucher. Fucher 1 for 3 with a sacrifice RBI on a fly ball to center field. So the winner of this game moving on to play Lamberton next week on Friday night. game over in Springfield. 1 ball and 1 strike to Fucher. Joe Becker on the hill. Both Buffalo and the Fort Ripley Rebels are here and warming up for a game that will start in the aftermath of this one. Wild pitch is going to advance a runner over. And Fucher now is facing a count of 2 balls and a strike. So Laverne advances on, and they will play Young America next week. 2 balls and a strike to Fucher. Runner is at third. Nobody out. And they just need 6 outs, but they're not going to get one there. Base hit and an RBI by Fucher. And Fucher drives in Voigt. Another ground ball to the left field, and just like that, that might end the day for Joe Becker. So give the RBI to Fucher. His second hit. We've reached 20 runs in this game. 13-7 the score. Mossberg, the manager, is going to stay with Becker. He's going to keep Becker in the game. He knows, again, he just needs to pick up outs at this point in time. He's got to get outs. A couple runs may score, but you need to get out. So they've scored now without anybody out here in the 8th inning. Fucher at first. And Josh Becker, the lone Becker for Avon, is at the plate. Open stance, right-handed hitting batter, and he looks at a curveball. Strike 1. Take a look at some of the Buffalo Bulldogs players wandering through. They're wearing gray with a old-school 80s stripe across their jersey. We'll get a look at the Fort Ripley Rebels. Ground ball to third, picked up by Becker. They're going to get one. Second, not in time. So it goes Becker to Becker from third to second on the 5-4 put out, but on the fielder's choice at first base is Becker. So Becker to Becker, but Becker still reaches. I'm confused. Where's my vodka? 1 out. In the bottom of the 8th. Sorry about this. It is 1 run in for Avon. They are trailing 13-7. Scorebug deficiencies again. Fire the person who's operating it. 1 out. Runner at first. And Kleinschmidt comes to the plate. Kleinschmidt started in right field, went on the pitch, went back out to right field. He is yet to reach base. First pitch fouled away. Holthouse, Taylor, and Kleinschmidt are the 2 players for Avon who have not seen the base paths yet. The State C Baseball Tournament here on PrepSpotlight.tv. 80 games in all over the next 4 weekends. Glad that you're joining us. Glad you're subscribing to the coverage. We hope we're providing you the entertainment and the value for what you are subscribing for. I think we're trying to do that. We've got some great announcers, not the one here, but around the state. Is the pop foul from Kleinschmidt makes the count 0-2. We've scoured far and wide for camera operators, bringing in only the best, those who have been working for Spielberg and Lucas. 0-2 pitch to Kleinschmidt, and he rips it out to center field. I think this is Kreitchen that's going to make the play. So 2 outs. And just as I mentioned before, that's all Union Hill wants right now, right? Outs. They just get some outs. And they're down to 4 outs from advancing on. But 1 run has crossed the plate for Avon this half inning, and they're not out of it yet. Carter Holthouse will make his way to the plate. Runner at first. is Josh Becker. He reached on a fielder's choice. And Joe Becker delivers a fastball strike. It almost smells like some sauerkraut and some grilling coming wafting into the grandstand area, and I'm hungry. Strike one to Carter Holthouse. Runner at first, 2 outs. Curveball, nice breaking ball by Becker. And Carter stepped into the box a little bit as he swings, and he misses the breaking ball. Holthouse has reached base twice today, a walk and a single. He's also struck out and popped up to the first baseman. We will not have time to break down the entire scoring of this game, as we'll have to get ready for the 2 o'clock game. The 0-2 pitch misses outside, and it's 1-2 to Carter Holthouse. So as soon as this game ends, we're in the bottom of the 8th, we're just going to wrap it up quickly, giving you the proper tallies on the board, and then we'll move our way into getting ready for game number 2, which is Buffalo versus Fort Ripley. 4 games here in Milroy today. Lots of baseball around the state. It is the state amateur baseball weekend. Big weekend. This is the only weekend where all 3 classes, 4 fields are going at the same time. After this, the Class A tournament subsides after tomorrow's semifinals and finals. And then we'll go on from there to just the B and the C for the final 2 weekends, wrapping up Labor Day weekend. 1 ball, 2 strike to Carter Holthouse. Stepping off the mound is Joe Becker. So Joe Becker, who has played the role of first baseman, leadoff hitter, and then came in as the third pitcher, has subsided the bats of Avon, quieted them to a point. Pitch in the dirt, blocked by Lee. Very nice job, and Lee keeps the runner from advancing from first to second. Bottom of the 8th inning. And the pitch on the way and a strikeout. So Becker gets out of the inning. 1 run does score on 2 hits. 1 runner left on base. We're going to take a break. It is 13-7. We're going to go to the 9th inning when we come back.
What's special about high school sports? The passion. The excitement. The memories.
Now on 3 at the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community. Connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
Couple shots from around the ballpark here at Milroy, the Yankees field. As I mentioned, there are 2 town ballparks, 2 very nice town ballparks in Milroy, just outside of town, about 5 miles. The Irish field. Big rivalry between these 2 teams. The family split. Stories written about it. I think Patrick Royce recently did a piece maybe a couple years ago on that in the Star Tribune. But we are here at the Yankees ballpark getting ready for the 9th inning, and then 3 more games after that, and maybe some sauerkraut. We have a new pitcher, John Harlander, number 19, a lefty from Albany, pitching for Avon. He'll load it up here for the 9th inning. He gets an inning of state tournament play, and we'll come back around now to the Wrong one. I put John Harlander on the wrong side. That's a broadcaster who's utterly confused. And a ground ball on the first pitch, and we have a first pitch swinging out. Hasn't happened all that often in this game, and the first batter goes 6-3. And that was the catcher, Nate Lee. So Nate Lee has had a nice game, both offensively and defensively. Goes down quietly here in the ninth inning in a 13-7 Union Hill game. Batting now is going to be Adam Geeson. Geeson has been moved from center field over to left field. His last at-bat was a fly ball RBI. He hit it hard to the left fielder, scoring a run when the bases were loaded. So picking up the RBI was Geeson on that, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes from Harlander to Geeson. We had a Geeson on the broadcast earlier. Reno. You know her name, Noreen Geeson, who's been for 45 years, the scorekeeper for Union Hill. She joined us on the broadcast in the 4th inning. I guess we call it a stream, not a broadcast in this new day and age. 3 balls and a strike to Geeson. Geeson has reached base 4 times, and then the time he didn't reach base, he picked up an RBI. So productive at the bat. At plate, Curry unable to pick it up as it takes a little bit of a funny hop on the 4 hop, and we're going to call that the 4th error of the game for Avon. So last night, the Buttermakers of Hadley committed 4 errors and they lost the game. And we are going to see a 4-error effort by Avon, and that might be a losing effort for Avon on that. So the error puts the runner Geeson at first base, and that's going to bring up Jack Becker. Jack Becker doubled in the 2nd inning, singled in the 3rd inning. Both of those times he came around to score. Reached on a fielder's choice and on an error also. So he's reached 4 different times. Harlander induces another ground ball. Could be a double play, but it's not going to be O play, as no outs, as Meyer has the ball slip out of his hand as he was trying to deliver it to Riley Voigt, and the the runners are safe. So error number 5 now.
Now batting right fielder number 5, Dan Becky.
And Becky is coming up as the number 7 hitter. Again, he had been in and out of the lineup, as is wont to do here in this tournament with their substitution rules. So Becky is hitting. Runner at first is Jack Becker, reaching on an error. The 2nd time today he's reached on an error. And Adam Geeson is at second. It isn't Adam Geeson. We did have a pinch runner. So we have pinch runner at second base. We have Becker at first base. And that pinch runner is Brady O'Neill from New Prague. So give Brady his due. Pitch inside to Beckius, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the 9th inning in a game that is now crossing the 3-hour threshold as we speak. You don't see a lot of town ball amateur baseball games get to the 3-hour mark, but this one had base runners galore. 1 ball and 2 strike as the breaking pitch gets Beckius to swing and miss, and he's induced nothing but ground balls this inning. 2 of them been booted away for errors. So in some sense of reality, we might have had 3 up, 3 down inning for Harlander in his 1 inning of relief. Pitch misses outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 runners on. This game will go to its completion in 9 innings. 13-7 is your score right now. 32 base hits. Beckius flies to center field, and there's Holthouse. Holdhouse will make the play. So 2 outs, and we will shift on to the second baseman, Jacob Becker. Becker with a 4 RBI day. There's a lot of players.
Number 46, Jacob Becker.
Just now, and because I'm not that observant of a human being, I'm looking at the batting gloves of Jacob Becker. Swing and a miss by Becker, and the count is 0-1. Buffalo's most famous resident just showed up. The pride of Buffalo just showed up to root on his Buffalo Bulldogs. Another group of Bulldogs will be playing in game 2. Pitch is outside and could have a play at third, and getting just underneath the tag on the wild pitch. And the throwdown is Brady, who is moved on to third, and now runners at second and third with 2 outs, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. (13-7) is your score in the top half of the 9th inning. And the swing and the miss on the 1-1 pitch makes it 1-2. So as I mentioned, Becker has reached base 4 out of the 5 plate appearances he has had, and 4 runs driven in. But I was noticing his gloves, his batting gloves are an interesting lot. They almost have a work glove look to them. Hit hard right past a non-flinching third base coach. That looks like the manager, Mossberg. He knew where it was hit. Am I right or wrong on the? We take a zoom in on the batting gloves just a little bit. They have a work glove look to them. Maybe that's the new style. I'm not in the fashion game of baseball these days, but it's worked for 4 RBI plus, and a line drive that is caught by Meyer to end the inning. So Becker hits the ball hard, has nothing to show for it. So no runs, there were no hits, there were 2 errors in the inning. And we will go to the bottom of the 9th. We're just going to keep it right here. And again, as we were saying, we are just going to sign off quickly after this game and then get ready for the 3rd game, which will be a 3rd game of this venue, 2nd game today, which is Buffalo and Fort Ripley, playing to see if they can move on to the 2nd round. Lots of action in this one, lots of base runners. There were over 40 base runners for sure. Taking a look, my phone's been ringing off the hook to see who might have given me a call. Who's calling me during a game? Don't they know I've got work to do? Incredible. Bottom of the 9th inning here. We have a score on that Minneapolis Cobras game. We're going to turn over to the St. Anthony Hogs versus the Minneapolis Cobras in the Class A quarterfinal. Winner will get to face the Stockman's Irish tomorrow in the semifinals. That game going off at 11. Semifinals 11-2. So the Minneapolis Cobras, the defending Class A champion, appear to be en route to heading back to the semifinals, leading 7-0 over the St. Anthony Hogs in the 4th inning. So we pick it up here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Batting for Avon is the top of the order. So if their comeback is going to be complete, they're going to be doing it with their best batters. The shortstop is now moving into the pitcher's role, so Adam Byrd is coming in. Nathan Berg, not Adam Berg. Adam Berg is actually working for me in Springfield today as a camera operator. So he can't be here pitching. It is Nathan Byrd, who's had a great day in the field and on the plate, and he is pitching, trying to close this one out. Not a save opportunity as they lead by more than 3 runs. 13-7. 1 ball and 1 strike. Byrd delivering to Meyer. Meyer made the play to end the last inning. He comes up to lead off this inning, and the count is 1-2. Meyer not compliant with that strike call on the 1-1 pitch. Byrd, lanky right-hander, delivers the 1-2 pitch, and it's strike 3. So he hits the same spot twice, and that is the spot that's good for the strikeout. So Byrd comes in. Got to give a tip of the cap to Joe Becker in relief. Gave up a run, but he came in a game that looked like we were going to double digits on both sides, and he kept the Avon Lakers off the board for the most part, except for the run in the 8th. Bjorn Hansen comes up with a single, slashing it to left field. An error in the outfield allows Hansen to get over to second. So Hansen is there. We should take a check on the shortstop, number 13 for the Union Hill, and that's another Geeson. That's Jack Geeson, who is now playing shortstop for for Union Hill, near New Prague. Hard fastball is down and away from Byrd. 1 down here in the bottom of the 9th in a 13-7 game. Byrd delivers. It's popped up towards center field. Krejcin chasing after it, and it's at the wall. He makes the catch. So 2 down. Runner moving over to third is Bjorn Hansen. So 2 down, and Caleb Curry comes to the plate. Curry, as we mentioned earlier, played in the professional ranks with the San Francisco Giants, drafted by the Giants. And he is getting a last crack for Avon, trailing by 6 runs. 13-7 is your score. Byrd delivers, and it is outside corner, strike 1. A breaking ball slid across the outside.
What's special about high school sports? The passion, the excitement,
Union Hill, they will advance to play next Friday night, August 28th, in Springfield.
All right, we're back here as the game. We lost our feed for just a second, and we lost it just in time to say the game's over with. So 13-7 is your final, a strikeout to end the game. So we'll give the win. We give the win to Joe Becker on the for the Union Hill Bulldogs. Avon losing 13-7 is your final, and the losing pitcher for the Avon Lakers will be Will Kleinschmidt, and lots of runners on base. 13 runs, 18 hits, and no errors for Union Hill. Avon with 7 runs on 15 hits, and they commit 5 errors. So that does it for our first game here at the ballpark in Milroy, the Milroy Yankees Field. We're going to step aside and break away. We're coming back with Buffalo and Fort Ripley. The 2 o'clock game is probably going to be about a 40-minute delay start. Thanks for watching PrepSpotlight.tv. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you back here for Game 2 of this Saturday quadruple header, I guess is what we'd say, from Milroy. We'll be right back. Andy Price, Greg Wolford from Milroy.